this whole tilt thing here that I've been doing this past year, I got the idea from Bilu. I'm not kidding.
Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well, are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Are we gonna keep on fighting? Are we gonna keep on dividing? Well,
level.
Just because you don't understand the argument, Jim.
Well, look, are we seriously expected to believe
you really
that
don't understand how a water
does
level
not
works?
understand
Seriously.
this concept from our point of view?
Seriously, Jim, you don't understand how a water level works.
Why have I got to mute you all the time? Why is it like this? Why can't you just make your point?
Because you never shut up, Jim.
I don't think I talk
agree
quite
with
a bit, I admit, but I'm just taking part in the conversation. Every time I do, Primate
No, you
speaks
just
over
put
me.
everyone down that talks, Jem. Every time someone talks, you're on them like that. Wah, wah, wah.
Jim, it doesn't matter what you believe.
I've come here probably for the second time ever
because
to listen to a conversation.
It's just this idiotic game being played out is annoying, and I think you should just admit
You're playing the game. That's you playing the game, Jem.
No, I'm not.
Yes, we're just trying to be straight with you here.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are.
That's a lie. Bev, that's a lie. You are doing the opposite of trying to be straight. You are deliberately trying to misunderstand words, trying to define words.
No, Jem.
To be fair, Jem, you haven't even really let him talk.
It's a game, and it's idiotic.
To be fair, you haven't let him talk, dude.
Scalpel really thought better of you than this.
Right.
Is there anyone in here who's ever gone out and
Hold on.
Playing
Jem,
a silly troll game. It's just
Jem,
silly.
We've had conversations in the past about this behavior, and you and I both agreed at the time that it was like, it's not good to be yelling and all this bullshit. Remember?
Look,
do you remember that, though?
Look, don't start being the victim. Don't start being the
I'm
victim.
not a victim. I'm telling you, dude. We've had conversations where we both agreed that this behavior was too much.
And I'm telling you that I'm
not
going
a
to
victim. I'm pointing it out.
Shut up.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to respond in this way if I feel like it when this game is being played. And don't make out that I'm being unreasonable when I'm sat in a room with a grown man who's asking these moronic questions as if he really doesn't understand.
I didn't say you were unreasonable.
Shut up! I'm still speaking.
Both agreed that
I'm still speaking. He could engage in an adult conversation in a proper manner and not try and misunderstand everything that's being said to him in the way that he's doing.
Jem.
And I am
because
because
you are.
Because
it's
obvious. It's bullshit. You're a bullshitter. This is like a double glazing salesman. Only
Don't
not
listen
very
to Jim
good one.
Hander.
It's a game that you're playing, and
it's not a game, Jem. This is about as serious as we get. This is reality.
Well, stop playing the game.
You're playing the game, Jem.
No, not me, mate.
Where we know that we've measured a difference between the plumb lines are not parallel. And this has been measured many times by surveyors.
You. Can I put your name on? Can I put your name on the board, foolish?
You're not prepared to listen to a point before interrupting.
You said we. You said we.
Because he wants to play his game.
No. I want to know. I want to know who we're talking about.
The collective term of we.
Yes.
To describe.
Yeah. I want to know who that we is. Yeah.
To describe an accomplishment of humanity, which of course any normal, reasonable person could understand as part of
any
this
normal,
conversation.
reasonable person would be able to cite someone.
But not Bev, because Bev's playing a game.
No.
Go ahead.
I'm just asking who.
I'll set the main surveyor. There you go. That's the last one I looked at.
Surveyor. Okay. Baseline. Your baseline would be, let's say, call it AC.
Sure.
And then point B would be higher than the line AC. And it would be in the middle, yeah?
I think I've seen it too, man. They've demoed it a couple times.
Okay, so that is a measurement that is measurable. According to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough, right? Because that's exactly what our test is. So we should be able to measure that for you, right? Well, The
I see your-
water
I see your
level
language,
is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. Now you've just
not a horizontal.
yeah, it is. It's a horizontal plane of reference.
A local horizontal.
And where's the local on a water level that's
At
a
the
mile
point where the
long?
water level at each individual point where you're measuring the water level.
But the water mile is it's a mile long. That's what we established
Okay,
at
that's
first.
not horizontal then.
What do you mean? One end isn't horizontal to the other
all
end.
Points of a straight line would be horizontal.
Okay,
on
so
your water level.
how would you measure a horizontal then?
It could be horizontal at a single point.
At the center point of the water.
At the center, it would be horizontal. Every
Of
other
the
point
water
would be
level.
horizontal. Yep. You
Well,
can't
you're
make
trying
a
to-
horizontal
you're
a mile
trying to
long.
assume
It's not going to
straight
work.
line on the
You can
right.
make a water level a mile long.
Correct. I agree with that.
So the opinion of this server is that you cannot make a horizontal line a mile long. Is that right?
It wouldn't be a straight line. No.
No,
cannot
answer the
measure one
question.
on Earth.
It
Is
could only
that
be
right?
It can only be perfectly horizontal at a single point.
This is
Well,
precisely the
horizontal straight line.
experiment that George Hutnock did on the lake, on the frozen lake. He created a horizontal line, a flat plain line
he-
that was only horizontal at the origin.
Did he
What?
get a
How
100
long-
or a
how-
drop?
Wait,
how
would
far?
you say
What
George?
distance?
Would you say George measured the
George, oh my
curvature?
God.
Yes.
Yes.
This is
Nothing
very, very
you-
serious.
Nothing you have done could be possibly be taken seriously, Beth.
Somebody
Volume.
once
Volume.
said that I was a child abuser for saying that level is horizontal.
Oh,
So
God.
what I'm going to round now is finding out who your
think-
sources are
I
that
think
say level is
The
curved.
main thing that you need to consider, Bev, is this a mental illness? Is the fact that you're still going on about the fact that
No,
Flat
it's definitely
Earth
it's not.
called
no.
you a child abuser? You're still pretending.
It's not just him.
that the term-
Loads of other people.
You're still pretending.
Kosho
that
had
the
a go
term
last
flat
night.
Earth- You're
Kosho.
still pretending that
Yeah.
the term flat Earth means no hills or valleys.
Science
Just
denier.
explain what the hell you're
Nice.
saying before we can go forward.
Yeah,
You deny the law
really.
of hydrostatics? Hydrostatic equilibrium? Are you a science denier? Who are you?
Oh my God.
Ooh. That silenced them, right? Science, right? Hydrostatics. Oh dear. That's it gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? Oh. Why is that, guys?
Sounds like we've
That's
got
it. That's it. The Earth's flat. We couldn't.
No,
hydrostatic.
it's not flat, Jem.
Looking off the Bev.
What's up
the
with
Earth
you?
must be flat. It must be.
It can't be flat, Jem. Can't be. Surveyors
Bev.
measure a vertical change. That's 3 dimensions. It cannot be flat.
Let's pretend flat means no mountains and valleys again. Let's
Flat
do that.
does mean flat,
Because that's a good
2-dimensional.
Because
Same as a plane.
A good way of holding a conversation and finding truth is to pretend that people mean something different to the common meaning of something. To be as what's the word?
flat
To
mean, Jem?
obfuscate around
What
that point.
what
as
does
much
flat
as
mean,
possible.
Jem?
It's just retarded.
What does
Bev.
flat mean, Jem?
We could go through this again for the 20th time. That when people say flat Earth, they don't mean no mountains.
Jim, at what distance between 2 points can you falsify the law of hydrostatics? Hydrostatic equilibrium.
I have absolutely no idea what that means.
You're going to tie this science into a geometrical argument as well, aren't you? We've got the surveyors to do the geometry, and then we've got also the scientists to add a little bit of hydrostatic testing. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
But as you pointed out, your argument is exactly the same. All you've done is say the word hydrostatic.
Which you're adding some science into it, because we've got
Well,
the
how? You just
geometry
told me-
side of it started.
You've just
It's all
told me
right.
that the argument is exactly the same and it's
But-
not a new
yeah, but
argument.
we were thinking when we get the water level right, to add a bit more science to it, we can, as we're testing that the water level is working or not, what we can do is we can add and remove water from one of the vials, and then
I
we
think
can
what you did was- I
time
think-
we can time how long it takes for the other ends to react to that either addition or subtraction of an amount of water.
I think when I pointed out that you didn't understand the term flat Earth, you felt the need to say the word hydrostatic.
Yeah, you can think whatever you want, Jim. You always
pretty much
do.
what's going on here.
Yeah,
I'd say just because that's what's going on in your head doesn't mean say it's what's going on in everybody else's head.
Flat Earth means, so that's obvious to everyone here. Anyone can see that.
No, I say I'm very literal, Jem. Very, very literal. Have you not noticed that about me yet?
Look, that's just...
Some people even might say I'm a little bit autistic about it.
That's just you trying to,
Some people might mock people for that, mightn't they?
Deliberately misunderstanding something seem respectable. It's not. You're still deliberately misunderstanding it, and I'm unimpressed.
I'm not misunderstanding anything, Jem.
Can we get back to the specifics?
Is there anyone else in here that knows about hydrostatics?
So what is the deal with the hydrostatics?
Nobody needs to know about hydrostatics, do they? All you're saying is water's level.
We're giving you a chance to get in on this test, Jem, to do a bit of science with us.
Some expert knowledge
working
that
together.
We deal with.
Yeah, working
all
together.
All that hydrostatics means is that water is conforming to the forces acting upon it. That's all that it means.
Why is DP deafened? Server deafened? What's that about?
Because he's a monk.
Alright, so you...
Well, he is among monks, as it were.
Yeah.
When one is among monks, one tends to mong.
So deafening somebody, server deafening, is that...
Because they can't take it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's the only one that has ever been.
Why is that? Why is that?
Look, it's bad.
I think he has caused that very well himself. Like, he made sure to achieve that mute.
But that he can't... No, it's not a mute. It's a deafen.
Yeah, I know. So he can't listen.
So what I want to know is, can you actually have anything like a plumb bob actually be perpendicular to a curved surface?
No.
Waste of time coming in, isn't it?
No, perpendicular is two straight lines.
Can be perpendicular to a tangent.
A tangent is a straight line, you muppet.
No plumb lines are parallel. Not a single, well, not with few exceptions, sir. No plumb lines are parallel.
That's a nice statement.
Is that a standalone statement?
Who said that?
I did.
Moyok, man.
Yes, sir.
That's all you have to do, man, is just say it.
Yeah, who?
And then believe it.
Have you got any backing?
That's all you guys have done, is say it.
So now we have to figure out
the same sentence for about, 8 months now? Something like that?
Yes,
so what?
You've seen the evidence before. Why are you asking me for it again?
The evidence for what, please?
Plumb lines not being parallel. Do you have a learning disability?
Where is this evidence?
Everywhere.
Don't be silly.
The face of the earth.
Don't be silly.
That's funny, man.
Thanks, whoever that was that undeafened me.
It was the...
Have you not seen the main surveyors?
He's not a real surveyor. He isn't a real surveyor.
I don't care if he's a real surveyor. What's wrong with his measurement?
Not a real scientist.
It's not a measurement.
Not a measurement because he's not a surveyor. How does that work?
Measurements imply a one-to-one correlation with what's being measured and the measuring tool. If I measure your height, each length of your height has a one-to-one correlation with the ruler. Optical geometry does not have a one-to-one correlation with anything.
Right.
Ask the main surveyor what technique he used.
Certified measurer, Lemon?
If you're looking at optical space, you're looking at a space of optical, vision that appears to vanish due to angular resolution and perspective, so you don't have constant units for constant measure. At best, you have theoretical calculations that assume a one-to-one correlation that doesn't appear to be there.
Unless you're a certified measurer, what you just said has no bearing because you're not a credible source.
Optical geometry is baseless. You can talk to the surveyor if you want, but he's working off of a philosophy that's baseless. Optical geometry does not have constant
Yeah,
only
you should have to
people that
debunk
you've never met. Only people you've never met, you can trust them, right?
He needs to have a working philosophy first. If his philosophy's bunk, then we're gonna have a problem.
Doesn't the fact that he yields accurate results prove his methodology?
Up to a range, but if you go outside of that range, you're going to have problems.
Not if they conflict with the Bible.
Why don't you guys give Bev
That's the DS84 model, which already has the global assumption.
Conflict with some weird interpretation of the Bible that hardly
Well,
anyone has
I was
ever
there.
held.
Why don't you guys give Bev
weren't, so.
Why don't you guys give Bev the measurements of plumb lines not being parallel? I'd like to see that.
Why doesn't Bev give us his measurements? How about that?
Have you seen the proof yet, Jem?
Why doesn't Bev admit?
Have you seen my proof yet, Jem?
Even if he manages to redefine the word level in the way that he wants to, it will have absolutely no bearing on reality at all.
Have you seen my proof yet,
Not
Jem?
redefined, is it?
Your proof?
Yeah.
What proof?
The one I've put out together in a video. We did it over at Ranties the other day.
Oh, the canal one. Yeah.
No, the proof.
What's that then? Is that you with your whiteboard saying, if I did this, this is how it would work, and that would prove me right?
No, that would be the test, wouldn't it? That on what I show you on the whiteboard. The proof.
Why don't you just say what it is you're trying to say instead of playing this?
I did. I said, Jim. I said, have you seen my proof?
I have never seen anything you've ever done. Does that make it easier for you?
Okay. Is that because you don't want to see it?
No, it's because you're a retard on the internet, and what you do is inconsequential.
Okay.
This is the thing you need to understand.
So when
not beating around the bush asking dumb questions, just tell us what your proof is.
I've done it. It's about an hour of a video. Like, so do you want me to go? Would you like to schedule me in for some time to show it to you? Would you like me to?
No, we'd like to know what it is before we decide whether we want to waste time looking at it.
It's my proof. It's my proof that level is horizontal.
You don't have a proof of that.
Yeah, I do. I did it over at Ranties the other day. I've put it out on a video. I showed it to Autisimo. He came round. He came over to Edma UK on the level. Yeah.
Jesus
Did he not tell you?
Post the video and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're kind of.
This kind of backwards and forwards is kind of childish. Like it's like what they did with the Black Swan. Oh. So you don't know the Black Swan argument. Ha ha ha. I'm not going to tell you, by the way.
Right.
So you don't know the Black Swan argument. Ha ha ha.
Exactly, yeah.
Pardon? What was that?
And that, in fact, it's the basis of all of these conspiratorial arguments.
It's the basis of geometry, Jem.
They always lead to this.
It's the basis of geometry, Jem. Don't you understand the basis of geometry?
Let me just mute that twat who insists on speaking every time I speak. So my point was that it forms the basis of many of these conspiratorial arguments. All you have to do is lead the challenger to anything, any random piece of evidence from some deep, dark corner of the internet that they haven't come across before, and then you claim that they haven't researched it and they need to go and do that.
It's really basic logic and basic geometry.
Totally absurd.
And basic reality as well.
Geometry to prove that.
Curved is circle. Curved is circle.
Yeah.
So where's your abstract of, since you have...
The abstract, no. It starts off with as a definition.
What's your definition?
What is my definition? The definition of a straight line.
Can you repeat everything you've said?
Definition of a straight line is that there are no curvature to it. It is straight.
Okay, that doesn't prove anything.
Okay, a definition of a perpendicular is two straight lines at right angles to each other. Okay, the definition of an angle is the inclination of two straight lines to one another. Okay? The definition of horizontal is perpendicular to vertical. Okay with that?
Sure.
Local horizontal, yeah, sure.
Local?
Local
Yeah,
horizontal.
that's okay. At the vertical, right? So horizontal is perpendicular to vertical. Always.
This is just so retarded.
Is that okay with you? And what about
Yeah.
I'll add an extra one in just for Jen.
Only for local horizontal.
Triangles have 3 straight sides and 180 degrees internal angles.
Okay.
That's the definition of a triangle.
Yep.
Okay, so we're okay with them, are we? They're all good definitions.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember though, guys, you're not just defining the meaning of the words here. You are defining reality according to Bev.
No, it's just definitions. That's the definition. It's okay.
There'll be a switcheroo somewhere where these definitions of words become
agreed with
definitions
me.
of reality.
He did agree with me that
Just watch for it. It's coming.
local horizontal and
Guaranteed.
local vertical.
See, you said it was horizontal, so it can't be a globe because they used the word.
Local horizontal and local vertical, sure. There's nothing.
Now, are you going to apply all these terms to the proposed model of a globe?
Well, what I do is I explain a water level as being a tube with water in it. Okay.
Sure.
Now that equalizes out, so the level.
I've seen your whiteboard proof of that bullshit.
Yeah, the
It's
level
not
of the
accurate.
water on
accurate.
either side of
Your
the
whiteboard
tube.
drawings aren't accurate.
I'm not drawing a whiteboard. I'm just explaining now.
I've seen your drawings though.
A water level is a tube filled with water. Now, each end of that water, the level in the water level,
You're patronizing us, man.
is
This is
neither
patronizing.
it's neither higher nor lower than the other end. Would
Right.
you agree with that?
Where's the bubble in that level?
Yes.
It's a water level.
There's no bubble.
No,
You're
definitely
talking
no,
about-
no
you're talking about
bubbles.
Your water.
No bubbles in it. We specifically make sure there are no bubbles in it. Otherwise, the hydrostatic thing won't work. It
Prove
with an
that
airlock.
those are horizontal with each other.
Pardon?
Prove that they are horizontal.
That's
with
what I
each other.
do with the proof. Yeah, we'll get there in the end. They are neither higher nor lower than each other. You would
What is
agree
your
with that,
scale?
would you?
What's the scale of this water level?
I don't know. You tell me. What scale would it make any difference at?
1 mile.
Higher or lower?
Okay, 1 mile. Let's say 1 mile then, yeah?
Have you done this?
Let's say 1 mile. Okay,
made
is
a
that
1
good
mile
enough? You
water.
asked for what scale?
Oh, it matters because at some scales it's
One
not gonna
one
be
mile.
enough
That's
in this
there's your
drop.
answer. Somebody said 1 mile. Let's go with
Yeah.
one
let's go with 1
mile.
mile.
Okay. Now, the water level in the tube would equalize out,
Yep.
so it would be neither higher nor lower at either end.
They would have equal gravitational potential energies at either end. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So they would be equal. One of them would be neither higher nor lower.
With respect to the sun and Earth, yeah, that is correct.
Just agree to that they're either neither higher nor lower. That's all I need. You don't need
just
to
agree
put
to that
any
because you're
caveats
actually
in there
agreeing
or
to them
anything.
You're actually agreeing to them being at the same level as each other with respect to each other, not
Yes.
with respect to
Yes,
the
exactly.
center
Yes.
of the Earth. But he
That's
didn't
not-
mention that. You notice how he didn't mention that. Just
Not
said.
accurate.
Just
No, I
agreed
just
to
said
it.
they
That's
are
why- that's why
equal,
you have-
with neither
But he's
higher
being all
nor
honest and
lower.
Intellectually honest and rigorous, of course.
Okay, now we're going to tap in a piece right in the middle to the same water level, the very same water level.
Okay.
Now, would you say that
It's
that
a drop.
would be on the same line as?
They're not,
Would
no.
it be higher or lower than either end?
It would be higher or lower, but it wouldn't be. They wouldn't be in a straight line.
Okay, so you would say there is a curve there.
Correct. Because there is. I've seen this experiment actually
Okay, so
done before.
so let's say
And that's what it showed.
there would have been a level line that would have been from one end to the other, but then we tapped a little bit in the middle. Now, would the level line, would you say that would be level? Because I would say if on your model, if you draw, because you know you've only got 2 points, haven't you?
No, you need two lines to connect.
When you draw a line, yeah, from a point to a point, you would get a straight line.
From one to the other, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now, would that have a point if you were to draw with all of those 3 points? In fact, if you were to join all of those
What
3
3
points up,
points?
the ones that you've just made, the one at each end of the water level and the one in the middle.
Yep.
Would you make a triangle or a straight line?
Triangle.
You'd make a triangle, okay. Now, would you think, is that measurable, that triangle?
Depends how big it is.
How big do you think it should be for it to be measurable?
A mile.
Okay, so
Well, it'll probably be measurable, yeah.
that's handy then, because we've got a test, right? So what do you suppose the measurements would be within that triangle?
I'd have to do the math. I'm not sure.
A baby of a degree.
Okay, so
baby degrees.
It'd be a very small angle.
Your baseline would be, let's say, call it AC.
Sure.
And then point B would be higher than the line AC. And it would be in the middle, yeah?
I think I've seen it too, man. They've demoed it a couple times.
Okay, so that is a measurement that is measurable. According to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough, right? Because that's exactly what our test is. So we should be able to measure that for you, right? Well, the water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. Now, you've just...
Not a horizontal.
Yeah, it is. It's a horizontal plane of reference.
A local horizontal.
And where's the local on a water level that's a mile long?
Water level at each individual point where you're measuring the water level.
But the water mile is it's a mile long. That's what we established at
that's
first.
not horizontal then.
What do you mean? One end isn't horizontal to the other end?
Points of a straight line would be horizontal.
Okay, so how would you measure a horizontal then?
It could be horizontal at a single point.
At the center point of the water.
At the center, it would be horizontal.
Of the water level.
Yep. At the center point, it would be
But there's
horizontal.
nothing there in the middle. It's just a tube.
I thought you said there was no water level there.
Oh, because we tapped another one in. Yeah, you wouldn't normally tap one in the middle. That's ridiculous, right? Tapping one in the middle.
No, I've seen that done.
Oh, you've seen somebody tap it in, have you?
I've seen that done.
why not?
I've seen an
No,
experiment that
I like
does this
it.
exact thing, and it fucking proved that the Earth is a globe.
Okay, so that you're doing geometry there, right? You realise that by making triangles and shapes. Yeah. So you're going along with the fact. Oh, which one's that? Kozlowski Bislin hump model, where the water goes up in the middle.
It doesn't go up.
It does. You just said it goes
No,
up.
it
They just
doesn't,
drew
no.
a triangle
No,
with a higher bit in the middle.
This guy thinks
No.
he's slick, doesn't he?
Holy shit!
You're wrong. Wow. It doesn't go up.
Point B would be higher.
Yep.
Point B would be higher.
Yep. It has an equal gravitational potential energy at every single point along it.
Well, yeah, but you said it's not a straight line.
That's not up. It's
no,
not.
you see the triangle, even though they're level and even, and you see the triangle. That's what gives it away, dude. Come on, man.
How can you have a straight line?
They're doing geometry.
Because you don't fucking understand how gravity works.
No, gravity doesn't
You don't
affect straight
understand how
lines,
gravity
dude.
works.
Doesn't affect tools that establish horizontal planes of reference.
You can't make a horizontal a mile long. It's not going to work.
You can make a water level a mile long.
Correct. I agree with that.
You can
so-
make a horizontal.
Not making a horizontal.
You can make a horizontal. Yeah, you can do it
It's
for
not a
ages.
horizontal line.
Do you not know how
It's not a
surveyors
horizontal
work?
line.
Do you not know how surveyors
You
work?
are wrong.
No,
You can
well,
bend for level a little bit.
what
of it. It
what
might
have
be
you
slightly-
got to
it
say
might be
that?
inaccurate at that.
Nicely,
Well,
your
What have you
imagination.
got to say? What have you got to say? You're right, Bev.
I've got a
Apart
surveying
from-
qualification.
apart from-
What have you got, Jen?
Listen. Apart from, as I promised, the definitions of the words have now become definitions of reality, haven't they? Just as I said they would.
Well, why do you think level is called horizontal, right? Why do you
It's not-
think?
No one
I don't think it's, the etymology of the word is irrelevant to what is happening in reality.
Pardon?
Yeah, colloquial.
The etymology of the word, that is how the word was derived, how it came about, that is irrelevant to what is happening in reality. So it doesn't matter why level is whatever you just asked me, why horizontal is level or whatever it was that you just said. It's absolutely irrelevant. You could completely change the word and replace it with gobbledygook. It won't change reality.
You're dead right, Jem. You're absolutely right. Level being horizontal does not affect reality at all.
Yeah. Horizontal could mean wavy with blue spots.
No, it can't. Horizontal is perpendicular to vertical.
It still wouldn't change the shape of the Earth.
No, it don't. It can't change the shape of the Earth. You can't change the shape of the Earth with words. Jem. Brilliant. At last. Well done.
Neither can you discover or define the shape of the Earth with words, Bev, which is what you're trying to do. You're saying this word means
geometry.
This,
you can.
Means that.
Yes.
Therefore, the Earth is flat.
With geometry, you can measure.
Well, go ahead and measure it.
In the
You
room,
haven't measured, have you?
Ask anybody to stand up for you, Bev. Anybody agree with Bev? Any one person?
What's Bev saying?
I agree with Bev.
Horizontal straight line is a horizontal
Y'all
plane.
work on it
Level is
together.
a straight line on a horizontal
What is
plane.
this, consensus now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
We're trying to make a
Horizontal
point.
with a straight
Trying to
line.
make a point to Bev. Like,
yeah.
Think
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
sorry, mate.
Just
Straight
keep
line
saying it.
cannot curve.
Just keep saying level is horizontal. All of you say it.
It is.
It
It is, Jem.
It still
Level
won't
is-
change the shape of the Earth.
No, it won't. You're dead right. We've got memes and all sorts.
You've got memes.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe what you could say to us differently, because obviously there's an impasse right here.
It's not an impasse, dude. That's you. Guys.
If we're going to use the level,
Surveyor
we know
can
what
make a
straight line-
horizontal plane for a
But there
mile.
can't be an impasse, can there? What we've got is someone thinking that reality is all they have to do is look it up in a dictionary.
Just reality.
Reality's a reality.
That's just silly.
Yeah, it's
But
terrible.
you guys think a surveyor can't make a horizontal plane for a mile?
No, that's the silly
that's what
straw
someone
man.
said.
No,
someone did say
No,
that.
they
earlier.
didn't.
It wouldn't be a
Like
line.
5 minutes
It
ago.
wouldn't be a line if it was
I
horizontal.
don't think they did.
Yeah, a horizontal.
You
Well,
can't
you're
make
trying
a
to-
horizontal
you're
a mile
trying to
long.
assume
It's not going to
straight
work.
line on the
You can
horizon.
make a water level a mile long.
Correct. I agree with that.
Line.
It
Okay,
would be
so-
a line.
That's
It
what
wouldn't be a
Bev
straight
said.
line.
That's his
It would
standard
be
straw
a
man that you
horizontal
borrowed off.
line
It
done
would be
by
a
a
straight
surveyor,
line.
Jem.
It would not be a straight line. It would be curved.
Bullshit. That's not what the
No,
main surveyor says.
horizontal.
You couldn't make a horizontal
is
straight line.
Yes,
for a
they
mile
can.
long.
He couldn't do a horizontal
See,
straight
Jem, they're
line.
saying you
That is
can't
me
see here
saying
this,
that,
Jem.
yes.
They are
Just for
saying
most
it's not a straw
purposes, it's
man.
irrelevant, isn't it? It doesn't
not a
matter
straw
when
man.
you're
This
making
server
a
is
building
retarded.
that's a couple of 100 feet across or something. It makes no
Well,
difference, does it?
You can't
It's a trick-
make
it's
a
a
mile
trap of
long
words.
horizontal straight line according to you lot. Really?
I'm the
Not
one
on
saying
the
that.
horizon is what
Not,
the guy's
not everybody else. That is
problem
me
was.
saying that.
Yeah, who's standing by that? Who's
Yeah.
standing by?
I think that's
surveyor
true for a
can't
mile long.
create-
Yeah, I think that would be
After a
Who-
mile
who
long, you don't
says-
have a straight line anymore.
It
That's
wouldn't be a
what he's
straight line.
saying.
Correct. It could
So
be
the,
level.
so the opinion of this server is that you cannot make a horizontal line a mile long. Is that right?
It wouldn't be a straight line. No.
No,
cannot
answer the
measure where
question.
it
It
Is
could only
that
be
right?
It could only be perfectly horizontal at a single point.
Don't bunch me in with these.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
So-
Where are you guys
so
coming
this
up with this? That a
server-
surveyor can't make a straight line.
No.
Yeah, he
Well,
should
that-
make a
well,
straight
that's
line, but
their straw man based on our claim.
but
Well,
the
that's
other
what they're
straight
saying.
line-
They're saying it
reveal
right
it
now,
there.
Jem. They're saying
Right,
it right now.
so
It's not a
if-
straw man.
This
you can
server
draw a
thinks
straight
that
line,
you
sure, but
cannot
he's saying, can you
make.
draw a straight line across the horizon over a mile? And you could draw a straight line
Nobody
over
said
the
anything
horizon,
about a horizon.
but the horizon itself isn't going to be straight.
Nobody said
Horizontal
anything
All these
about a
questions,
horizon.
it doesn't matter.
You
Bev's
did.
going
You
to
said
do
a
the
mile long
experiment. He's
on
going
the
to see the
horizon.
same
That's how
thing.
No,
you
he's
started.
not. Bev's never
You
going to
started
do
the
the
con- you started the
Oh, well, I thought
stipulation
they were
about
raising
it's
the
a
money.
mile
My
long
bad.
being
But I
on the
mean, like, if
horizon.
they do it, they're going to see the same thing they've
Sorry,
seen
I
before.
wasn't talking or anything, but yeah. So that's what it started off as. That's what it seemed like the argument was about, being on the horizon. That's why he was
No,
saying, well, you're
there's
not
nothing
going
to do with the
draw a
horizon.
straight line on the horizon.
No horizon here.
Nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just a horizontal established by a water level. Like you guys say it doesn't, it can't. It's not allowed to be.
I think
Now we're
that's what I
saying
thought
that
he
you
was
can't
saying it
even
that way
establish
because
a straight line, a horizontal straight line over a mile. That is ridiculous. You're saying surveyors can't do their jobs? Really?
No, it could be horizontal at one point and be a straight line.
No.
That's
Surveyors can project a horizontal line over a mile.
They can make a
but
line
that's
over a
different.
mile.
Now
but it
you're
won't be
changing
horizontal.
it slightly.
It's
aren't
different.
you?
That
No, it's not
line
being
is a
changed.
horizontal
I think it is.
plane, which can be projected.
No,
over
it's a
mile.
flat. It would be a flat plane, but it would
It's a
only
horizontal
be
plane.
horizontal. It would
Do you
only
mean
be
a flat
horizontal to
plane?
the surface of the Earth at one position.
Right.
No.
Bullshit.
It'll be a straight horizontal for
The
a mile.
point it's projected from.
It
where
is
it's
a plane.
perpendicular
It
to
is a
vertical.
horizontal plane.
You're wrong.
It'll be a horizontal
It's not me
plane
saying that.
regardless of elevation.
The main surveyor has said that.
okay, so we're back to understanding that it's about the horizon, right?
It's
It's
not
not
the
about the
horizon.
horizon.
What?
Just because
Just
the word
because we
horizontal
say
has
it's
the word horizon in
horizontal.
it doesn't mean they
My
fucking mean the
God.
same thing.
You
But he's
lot
saying
are
it can
so
only be
dense.
horizontal
Obfuscation
on the
time.
surface of the planet, and once it starts to, the planet starts to actually curve underneath the lines. It's no longer a completely horizontal line. So a mile long would not be a completely horizontal line. It would
Right.
only be horizontal location specific on the where it's.
It would only be
laying across
horizontal
the
at one
land.
point.
The
Right,
originating
so-
plumb.
Are you a surveyor? Are you a
So
surveyor?
how is it still
Are
not
you
to
a
do with the
surveyor?
horizon then? Like I said, the fuck.
Well, he
The
seems to know.
horizon's
He thinks he knows a lot about it. That's all.
I know. That's what I'm trying to say.
You don't need
I mean,
to-
literally the
below
same
it.
thing that you're saying, and
You're
you're
not
going, no,
using
you're
the
wrong.
horizon.
You
to
don't
make-
need to be a surveyor to know this, do you?
Yeah, this is precisely
To know what?
This is
Well,
precisely the
horizontal straight line.
experiment that George Hutnock did on the lake, on the frozen lake. He created a horizontal line, a flat plain line
he-
that was only horizontal at the origin.
Did he get a
How
hump
lo-
or a
how-
drop?
how-
Wait,
how
would
far?
you say
What
George?
distance?
Would you say George measured the
George, oh my
curvature?
God.
Yes.
Yes,
George
George.
Hutnock
Is that
measured the
a George?
curve.
No, he even
And he
admitted
measured-
He did. He
It's
didn't
Mr.
measure
Hucknall.
curve.
He
Way too many
lined up-
worthless comments going on right now. Try to tone it down. Just try to.
Yes,
There's
Daddy.
a lot of people here.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
created a
Daddy.
bunch of targets that he put all in a straight line and then measured the distance from the targets to the surface of the water.
That was his refraction test,
I don't
wasn't
believe
it?
George, though.
He did it over a large
It
variety
was
of
just
observations.
refraction, though, wasn't
It took him months to do it.
Yeah, but it was just
No, it wasn't
refraction.
refraction.
Yeah, it was.
He looked for specific periods of time where he was minimizing refraction.
Bev, you need to put George on the board.
He
now.
also was doing temperature measurements all along the optical corridor in
So
order
are you
to find
are you
a time.
claiming George has measured the curvature of the water level?
Yes,
Yes.
that's exactly
Oh,
what he
brilliant!
did.
How many was that? Was there two?
That's two. That's at least
who
two.
said
on
He
the
likes
that?
to
board.
do that and
Who
say
said
the word
that?
water level as if it's all.
I'm gonna have to wipe Soundly off. Sorry, Soundly, you've gone.
It keeps doing that.
There's no need
You might have to explain.
wipe Soundly off
Dave, you
either.
might have to explain to some people in there
Oh.
what a
Well, they
water
wanna
level is.
keep
They might
Soundly,
not
Bev.
understand.
No, Soundly's.
they wanna keep Soundly.
Soundly's off the board. Nobody
Soundly's
Well, they
fine.
wanna
There's
keep 'em.
nothing wrong with Soundly.
The Soundly's fine, they said.
Yeah, no.
We got
Yeah.
your point, Scalpel.
Nobody's-
Thank you.
If Soundly isn't fine, then maybe you can tell me why he isn't. Because I
Because
haven't
nobody's
heard a
claimed
single
that
reason
he's
for the
measured
last
the
5 years.
curvature of the water level.
The curvature of the water
He's
level.
demonstrated.
You
He's
keep trying to be
demonstrated.
like
and
counterintuitive
he
on
actually
purpose.
has measured it as well. Like they
Yeah,
did
he has
PBS.
measured it.
Yep.
He's measured it a couple
Measured
of times.
curve.
Yeah.
So there's no
Soundly's
need to
measured-
wipe him
how
off the
did he do
table
that?
just
Who
because
did that?
Well, the
he
first time he did it, they laid out a load of lights along the bridge, along the causeway, and
A
they
load of lights.
Yes, lights. Have you heard of lights?
Yeah.
Have you heard of lights?
Jem, they
Yeah,
laid
light.
out a load
I've
of
put
lights
Jem down
to
for
make a
Soundly.
curve.
Who was
Is it?
who
Do
named
you not
George?
understand English? Do you
Are
have
you
a
mental,
problem?
Who was George?
Do you know what a light is? Let's start with
Yes.
that. What's a
And they
light?
measured the
Who
curve
claimed George,
using a
please?
light.
I don't want to miss this.
Did I say
We've
a
waited
light,
a while
or
for
did
the
I
George.
say several lights and describe that they laid them out
Oh,
along
Jem.
the causeway? Did I say
You are
that?
mental.
How is that mental? Explain what is mental about
Yeah,
that.
you don't
They
need to
used
respond to him.
lights to
Can't.
measure
You just-
curve.
You can't. You're just a mong who
They
has
use
to,
a nice
who
little
just-
Come on, Jem.
Jem,
Listen
come
to
on.
who
yourself.
just spews out any
Listen
old
to
shit
yourself,
when I
Jem.
speak.
So there's no
Soundly's
need to
measured-
wipe
how
him
did- how
off the
did he do
table
that?
just
Who did
because
that?
you
Well, the
like
first time he did it, they laid out a load of lights along the bridge, along the causeway, to try
He
and
does.
prevent.
You're talking
him from
about
speaking.
Finish what you were saying. He's showing the lights.
So that's what he did the first time, and they photographed that, and then I think the
They
second time.
photographed the lights
to measure the curvature.
second
Stop
time-
interrupting with nothing.
You sure it wasn't
The
Christmas?
second time, they used GPS.
Nice. So I've
only
got
used the water
you
level,
down
then.
for Soundly. Who was it that named George as the measuring of the curvature?
Oh, shut up!
No, I've got a board. I've got a board. Come on, this is serious.
Yes, it is serious. So George is fine.
It's
Soundly
really
is
not
also
serious
fine.
in
Who is
any
that?
way.
Who is that?
You having a list of
I don't
something
know who that
isn't
was. Was that you,
serious
Wolfgang?
to anyone apart from you. So it's not serious.
Who was?
So,
is it Wolfgang? Who's
may I
writing?
ask what was your method?
A mango among mongs. That's a bit of a tough name. Is that you that said
So
George?
what was yeah, George is fine. Like you might actually want to make a point about George or Soundly not being
Right.
good instead of just also George is fine now, so Soundly is also fine. Oh, so you
think
think
having
George is
Soundly
fine?
as well?
Like what? Make a point that
He's
some-
measured the curvature
Yeah, it's just-
of the water level, right? I have
Weren't
a
you
board
listening?
where I have names on it, and Soundly, nobody had claimed Soundly, but I had him on the board. Nobody had claimed him until Jem just claimed that Soundly measured the curvature of the water level, right? So now you've just
So
claimed
you
that
live on a
George is
spectral
okay.
Earth.
Are you still okay with Soundly?
You
Can
live
I
on
put
a
your name
spherical
underneath
Earth.
Soundly as
You live
well?
on a spherical Earth. Many tens of thousands of people have measured the curvature. You know, you're going to have a very, very, very long list if you put them all down.
And how did they do that? Jim?
Shall I just? I'll just
How
mute
do they
you
measure
again because you're a monk.
There you go. Mango. So I've got, but now he's got
So
two.
the
Who was the other one that claimed that George had done it? Because I've only got you down. There was somebody else. There was definitely two people that
So
claimed
what's
George.
the point of
You can add me
composing
to
this
that list.
list? Like,
What's
what
the
are
point?
you doing here exactly?
Yeah, I'm finding out.
Why don't you come over?
He's
Come over to the
trolling,
server.
isn't he? He's just being. They're
No,
just
no, this is serious, Jem. This is
Nothing
very, very
you-
serious.
Nothing you have done could be possibly be taken seriously, Beth.
Somebody
Volume.
once
Volume.
said. Somebody once said that I was a child abuser for saying that level is horizontal.
Oh,
so
God,
what I'm going to round now is finding out who your
think-
sources are
I
that
think
say level is
the
curved.
main thing that you need to consider, Bev, is this a mental illness? Is the fact that you're still going on about the fact that
No, it's definitely it's not.
called
no.
you a child abuser? You're still pretending.
It's not just him.
that the term-
Loads of other people.
You're still pretending.
Kosho
that
had
the
a
term
go last
flat
night.
Earth- You're
Kosho.
still pretending that
Yeah.
the term flat Earth means no hills or valleys. And you're
Flat
still
is a
pretending-
two-dimensional surface,
You're still
Jem.
pretending
I'm very
that
literal.
this retarded test of yours that you've been promising you're going to do for months
when
now
did I
is
promise
gonna
it?
establish
Jem,
something.
Jem, that's
And you're
a
still
lie, Jem.
pretending that-
I don't ever
that
promise.
redefining words will
Did you hear me
redefine
promise,
reality.
Jem? Did you just make that up?
Made it up.
I think you just made that up. But
All
yeah,
right,
yeah,
so
I-
you haven't been saying you're going to do this test.
I've not been
for all-
promising it, have I? Which you
Oh,
claimed
right,
promise,
okay.
didn't you?
Oh, well, that's a big difference then. Just saying
Yeah,
you're
it's
going to do
words,
it
Jem.
is different to promising you're going to do it. Okay.
Yeah, I can find tweets to back up what Jim's saying because you plaster it all over Twitter and
Yeah.
you've been doing so for the past.
Go on then.
5
Yes,
months.
and
Off you go.
what are they saying?
It's what are you saying?
Yeah.
You're saying you have a test
Yes,
that you
I do.
were supposedly going to do.
We are still going to do it, yes.
Yeah,
But
we're
I
looking forward
have
to it.
never promised to anyone.
Gosh. Okay, Bev, you said you're going to do the test. We're asking
Oh yeah, I'm
you to
very
do the test.
literal with the words I use. Very.
You have to say "I promise" before it's something that you're willing to carry out.
Yeah.
I think you're just changing the words there, aren't you? You're playing about
you
with
are-
words.
you are
It's
saying
semantics.
Bev, we just want you to do the damn test.
I will do
That's
it. Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to say-
Brilliant. I'm glad it.
You have to say,
Glad you
I
like it.
promise no returns, and then it counts. But only if you say the no returns.
I promise that I will never say Bev promised something again if you do the damn test.
Why is RC Meisty talking?
Is that RC Meisty?
So, what does this test consist of? Like, how are you
Really?
Oh, wow.
Have you not been listening?
Come on.
Have you
Never
really not
mind.
been listening?
Oh, I have been listening, but
Okay.
I have a
Well,
point.
obviously not.
It's not a serious point.
Probably make the point, dude, rather than make him explain all that shit again, please.
Well, I was just going to debunk his test, like
Were ya?
Mr. Chorbet. Yeah, I will. So I'm going to debunk it the same
You
way
definitely,
Mr.
you
Chorbet
definitely
just
know
debunked-
the test, though, don't you?
Yeah, you might want to sit the hell down and just listen. Be patient. So this is how I'm going to debunk it.
Okay.
So you take water and some pipe. You're really gonna take water and some pipe. So you take water and pipe, and that's how you do this. Water and pipe. Is this how you're going to do it? Is water and pipe?
Is this a comedy routine? Because I'm not aware of
Yes,
this.
it is. I'm comedicizing your kind of what
that-
Mr. Chorbet did just there.
Who's Mr. Chorbet?
He attacked soundly with you're going to use lights.
Oh, we got a science denier.
yeah.
I
Science
don't
denier.
know what the hell you're
Nice.
saying before we can go forward.
You deny the law of
really.
hydrostatics? Hydrostatic equilibrium? Are you a science denier? Who are you?
Oh my god.
Ooh. That silenced them, right? Science, right? Hydrostatics. Oh dear. That's it gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? Oh. Why is that, guys?
That sounds like we've
That's it.
got...
That's it. The Earth's flat. We couldn't.
No, it's not flat, Jem.
Off the Bev.
What's up with
The
you?
Earth must be flat. It must be.
It can't be flat, Jem. It can't be. Surveyors measure a vertical change. That's 3 dimensions. It cannot be flat.
Let's pretend flat means no mountains and valleys again. Let's
Flat
do that.
does mean flat,
Because that's a good
2-dimensional.
way-
Same as a
because
plane.
A good way of holding a conversation and finding truth is to pretend that people mean something different to the common meaning of something. To be as what's the word?
flat
To
mean, Jem?
obfuscate around
What does-
that point.
what
as
does flat
much as
mean,
possible.
Jem?
It's just retarded.
What does flat mean, Jem?
We could go through this again for the 20th time. That when people say flat Earth, they don't mean no mountains or valleys. You know that. I know
I'm
that. If you
very
had any
literal.
degree of
Hey, Jem,
honesty-
why don't
Shut
you get
up.
back to the topic,
Shut up.
mate?
If you had any
Get back
degree
to
of
the topic.
honesty, if you had any degree of honesty in what you're trying to say, then you wouldn't be playing silly games like this. But you're playing silly games, and this shows that you are dishonest, fundamentally dishonest in your approach.
And that shows that you're dishonest.
How?
Is flat your safe for Bev?
How does that show I'm dishonest? Go ahead.
What does flat mean, Jem?
When we say flat Earth, it means an Earth that isn't spherical.
When you
Doesn't
say
mean-
flat
it
Earth.
doesn't- No, when everyone says
No.
it. That is the common
When
meaning
I
of the
hear
phrase.
flat, I hear 2-dimensional. I
So
say
you're an idiot.
it's not.
You're an idiot then. You're an idiot, and that
You don't
shows
get to
that you
just make that
you don't
stipulation.
you cannot even get a coherent understanding of basic phrases in your native language. That should bother you.
Yeah, flat isn't 2-dimensional. You can have a flat surface in 3 dimensions. What you mean is planar.
Who said
Planar
that?
is 2-dimensional.
How can you begin to understand
Who just
concepts
said
like
that?
the shape? How can you begin to understand concepts like the shape of the Earth when you haven't even learned to talk?
Bev, if he doesn't prefer the pronoun flat, then use the correct pronoun. Jem.
No. No. When we say flat Earth, we don't mean nobody ever means an Earth with no mountains and valleys. And someone pretending that they do, or that
What
that's
does
how
flat
they
mean,
understand it, we should point out to them that they are misunderstanding the use of that phrase. And every time they do it, we should re-point it out to them that again, they're misunderstanding how that phrase is used. I'm
does
not
flat
wrong.
mean,
I'm not
Jim?
wrong, and I'm not going to change how I speak. So because Bev is wrong. Bev needs to
I'm
be
just
correct.
giving you a hard
What
time.
does
Stop
flat
being wrong.
mean?
But
Jim?
he doesn't identify as flat.
He's wrong.
I know he is.
Right.
All right, how does he identify?
So if he's wrong and I'm right, why do I need to change what I'm doing? He needs to change what he's doing.
You don't.
He needs
That's
to
the joke.
understand
That's
what
the
that
joke,
phrase
Jim.
means.
That's
And of course he does. But he
I've just been to the
deliberately-
dictionary and had a look.
He deliberately misunderstood. I don't care what the dictionary says.
What's for flat?
I don't care what the
Look up
dictionary
the,
says.
look up the dictionary
One of
definition.
them says being
Very high on
without
your
slope
Look up
or
the-
curvature.
Look up the dictionary definition of the
You're
term
very
flat.
high on yourself.
Look up the dictionary definition of the term flat Earth.
What?
Look up
What's the point?
the dictionary
Why?
definition of the term
Why?
flat Earth. Because that's the context in which we're using the term
No,
flat.
I
as
tell you,
well
I'm
know.
using it
If it's
flat.
spherical Earth, flat Earth should be in the fucking dictionary.
I thought this
dipshit.
was about the horizontal and being able to establish a horizontal straight line.
Yeah.
That's what I thought we were at.
And then as soon as we got onto
What's that got to do
hydrostatics,
with
they
it?
changed the subject.
Semantics.
Why is
They
that
wanted to play
triggering?
semantics games, didn't they?
Look, you idiots aren't in a position to talk
Nobody had
about
mentioned
hydro-
flat until
That's
Jen
right,
came
isn't
up
it?
with it.
That's
Stop
right.
thinking you're a fucking place of authority, dickhead.
Let's hear your great hydrostatic argument then. Let's hear it.
What do you know about hydrostatics, Jen?
I don't look. What your argument is has absolutely nothing to do with my knowledge of the subject, does it?
It's
Your
science,
argument is
Jim.
not changed by what I know.
Yeah, it does,
So
because
you-
we need to know where you are.
I think,
So you
Why
go
don't we
ahead
just
and
calm
make
down
your
a little
argument.
bit?
Go ahead.
Should
Why
we
don't-
start off
just
at
calm
very,
down.
very basics then?
Jim, yeah.
All
I
you have
think
to do is
so.
make your argument.
Should we? Okay, so
Give it-
we'll assume that you know nothing.
Assume no, you don't have to do that. Assume we're in a room of adults with a general knowledge of you know
4-year-olds.
of the earth.
Okay. So hydrostatics is in
Bring it
relation.
down to about 15.
Yeah, the relation to the water, right? And it's about the column, the depth of the water. In fact, there's only a couple of things that are needed, and that is the density of the fluid and the height of the column, vertical height of the column, right? You agree with that? I just want to make sure you're with us.
Make your argument, Bev. You don't need any
So-
confirmations from me.
The-
Just go ahead.
Oh.
Make the argument.
It's not an argument. You want us to tell you about hydrostatics or what?
So what's the big deal about hydrostatics that we just can't respond
It's
to?
the water level.
If you're not using it to make an argument, there's nothing for us to
The
respond
water
to.
level establishes
cannot-
a horizontal plane of reference due to hydrostatics, doesn't it? That's the reason the water level finds an equilibrium with each other,
Right.
an
Right,
even
so your
surface.
new argument. Your new
It's not
argument
new
is-
argument. This is the
It's not
same
new, Jem.
thing, Jem.
Exactly, it's the same argument,
Yes.
and yet you seem to think that
Science.
because you
We're adding a bit of science into it.
Because you deployed the word hydrostatics, suddenly we could no longer respond to the argument we'd already responded to.
Well, you've
As
got
you've
to,
just
you've
said,
got to put a
there's no
curve
argument.
into it. It's fine, Jem. I mean,
All
brilliant.
you've done
Yeah.
is say the word hydrostatic. That's it.
Jim, at what
But
distance?
thank
between
you for
2
that.
points-
Well done.
Oh, Jim, at what distance between 2 points can you falsify the law of hydrostatics?
Nobody's
Hydrostatic equilibrium.
I have absolutely no idea what that means.
Wow.
Doesn't
Exactly.
the hydrostatic equilibrium formula use gravity? I'm unsure why you guys are
What is
evoking
gravity? What is gravity?
It
Weight?
doesn't matter what gravity is. You guys are evoking it.
Gravitas
You
is
say
weight.
hydrostatic
you don't know what it is
equilibrium.
either,
Yeah,
do you?
let's see what the law of hydrostatic equilibrium is showing.
Yes.
Gravitas.
It's a good
weight.
one.
Thank you.
Go on, Jim. Fill your boots.
And that question doesn't make any sense at all.
I didn't think it did.
Because you're going to tie this science into a geometrical argument as well, aren't we? We've got the surveyors to do the geometry, and then we've got also the scientists to add a little bit of hydrostatic testing. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Can we get back
But as you pointed out, your argument is exactly the same. All you've done is say the word hydrostatic.
Which you're adding some science into it, because we've got
Well,
the
how? You just
geometry
told me-
side of it started.
You've just
It's all
told me
right.
that the argument is exactly the same and it's
But-
not a new
yeah, but
argument.
we was thinking, we were thinking when we get the water level, right, to add a bit more science to it, we can, as we're testing that the water level is working or not, what we can do is we can add and remove water from one of the vials. And then
I
we
think
can
what you did was- I
time.
think-
We can time how long it takes for the other ends to react to that either addition or subtraction of an amount of water.
I
So-
think when I pointed out that you didn't understand the term flat Earth, you felt the need to say the word hydrostatic.
Yeah,
I think
you can
that's-
think whatever you want, Jim.
That's
You always
pretty much
do.
what's going on here.
Yeah,
The
you,
hydrostatic.
I'd say you were
just
pretty
because
wrong.
that's what's going on in your head doesn't mean say it's what's
I
going
mean,
on in everybody else's
what
head.
flat Earth means, so that's obvious to everyone here. Anyone can see that.
No, I say I'm very literal, Jem. Very, very
Well, I don't
literal.
care.
Have you not noticed that about me yet?
Look, that's just
Some people even might say I'm a little bit autistic about it.
That's just you trying to,
Some people might mock people for that, mightn't they?
Deliberately misunderstanding something seem respectable. It's not. You're still deliberately misunderstanding it, and I'm
not-
unimpressed.
I'm not misunderstanding anything, Jem.
Can we get back to the specifics?
Are there anyone else? Is there anyone else in here that knows about hydrostatic?
So what is the deal with the hydrostatic?
Nobody needs to know about hydrostatics, do they? All you're saying is water's level. That's
We're giving you a chance to get in on this test, Jem, to do a bit of science with us.
some expert knowledge
Working
that we
together.
can't deal with.
Yeah, working
All that
together.
hydrostatics means is that water is conforming to the forces acting upon it. That's all that it means.
It evokes gravity, and
So
gravity.
I just don't understand how somebody
Only a globe head would believe that. Only a globe head would believe that definition.
It has to for them, though.
Let me save you guys some
That's
time.
exactly what we see. Have you never seen the fighter pilot pouring water into a cup as he's inverted? You never seen that video?
They're still missing the horizontal plane.
How is it that a fighter
Why
pilot?
is it hard to understand?
How is it that a fighter pilot can pour water into a cup as he's inverted, and the cup is flat and level? The water in the cup is flat and level, even though the guy is in the middle of a roll. How is that possible?
What are you talking about?
Flat isn't level. That's
What's this got to do? What's this got to do with
perpendicular to level
the water
is,
test?
is a plumb line that goes straight down to the center of the earth. Okay, that's what they're saying. I
Yeah,
don't understand
of
how
course.
this is so difficult to understand.
Of course.
You go as your angle increases relative to the first plumb you took. The plumb line that you take will be the same, straight down to the center of the earth. How the fuck is
How
that
do you
so
know
hard to
that?
understand?
How do you know that it's going
What?
straight to the center of the earth then? How do you know these lines are
Based
going
on
straight to the center of the earth?
I'm just saying,
The lines you
regardless of
talk
whether
of.
it actually is or
I
not.
live on a ball. So I pretend that plumb bobs are not parallel.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There's an angular difference between verticals. Yeah? And
Guys,
what
please try to make your comments.
what do you
worthwhile.
measure that angular distance from? Guys?
Yes, you're calling them verticals, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Basically, they're saying there's an angle between the two plumb lines.
Yeah,
How is
yeah.
that
So
difficult to
how
imagine?
do you measure an angle between two verticals? What
Define
do you use as your reference frame in order to measure the angle to a vertical?
A horizontal from
Okay,
the first from
so if we establish a horizontal and make sure that that horizontal level is horizontal, then guess what, guys?
locally
Level is horizontal.
You understand that on the surface of you take any point on a circle, if you put a horizontal, that's a tangent line. As the tangent line gets larger and
Horizontals
larger,
aren't
the distance
tangents.
between the circle and the tangent line is going to increase. Do you understand?
What you just injected horizontal onto tangent then. That's not the same. They're not the same thing.
No, but again, to
A
understand
tangent
their
is a
argument, this
tangent,
fundamental
and
to their
horizontal
argument. This
is in
very
reality.
simple. This is like elementary geometry.
local horizontal.
Can you have a tangent horizontal bev?
Pardon?
What's
Can you have
local?
Horizontal.
I'm just curious what local is first. I hear that all the time.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
local?
Yeah.
I want to
And
hear
how-
Bev's answer.
Come on,
Well, hold
someone's
on,
got to
yeah,
know
yeah.
what local is. Come on.
Yeah, what is
Don't go
local?
silent. Don't go
Jem's the
silent.
font of knowledge. He should know what
We're
local
waiting.
is, how you define local.
And how far away from local are you no longer
Local.
local?
Yeah. What's where's the cutoff line?
Hold on,
for
guys.
local?
Hold on, guys.
Yes,
Let
it,
her-
it
let her
depends.
answer.
It
1
depends
millimeter.
what you're doing, doesn't it? Depends how.
Well, we're
accurate
talking
you need,
about making.
It depends how
Jim.
accurate you need your measurement to be, right?
Local.
Yeah, it's
How
in
local
context.
is local,
Okay, hold
Jim?
on. This is in context of making a horizontal over a mile. So, local's been brought up. What does it mean within the context?
Well, I
of
would
the
say
conversation?
local is the point that you're making the measurement at, and no other point.
So over a mile, we're making the measurement.
There's 2 points.
No.
Beyond the
Your,
point
your starting point for this measurement, right? I would say
Well-
that is local.
Okay, so the starting point
and
is
that's
the
it,
start
just
of the
one point.
measurement. The measurement is the mile.
Right. Well,
Right.
only the starting point is local.
Exactly.
That doesn't even
All
make
the way beyond
sense.
that, you start introducing error, and the error bar.
Oh,
is what
no,
you're-
you don't want
that's
it to make
equivalent
sense
of.
because you want me to say something else, but I'm
No,
not going
I'm
to.
saying it
No,
doesn't
no,
make
just
Any
say the
times you
truth,
say it-
Jem. I don't hold
No,
back.
honestly, you
Give
guys-
us the
you
truth.
guys, look,
We can handle
this
it.
is- look, this is a silly trolley word game. That
It's
you're
not, Jem.
playing. And that's all it's
Jem,
ever
it's
going
not.
to be.
How
And
long
I-
is local? You guys use local
How
all
you
the
guys can
time.
how you guys can spend hours sitting playing this same silly trolley
Because
word game.
we do it because you guys obfuscate everything.
But that's what it is. And it's, well, you say you're just asking, but you're not. You're playing a game and you're trying
you
to
can't
you're
say,
trying
can
to
you,
get a
Jim?
gotcha and it's just
No, Jem.
you're not
It's
even
not a
arguing.
Does
You're
anyone
not
here
even
know
arguing.
what?
Scalpel,
Does anyone
you're not
here
even
know
arguing
what
what you
local is?
really
Local.
believe in.
It's
Local.
not a
Apart from a
gotcha.
point.
Just having a little game.
What's
on.
local
It's
be,
not
Jem?
right.
Jem, what's
local,
local?
Jem?
It's
Bev, this is literally the
insincere
equivalent
and
of
it's
your
just
argument. I'll just
it's
define
just annoying.
a flat Earth. to
Favorite
mean
place I go to get a
spherical Earth,
pint.
and then therefore we have a spherical Earth.
What's
That's
local,
literally the
guys?
equivalent of your argument.
What's local?
Where I get a pint.
It's not difficult. It's
Bet.
not difficult.
What's
It doesn't take
local,
long
mate,
to answer.
I go down
Okay,
the
in this
local.
in reference
You-
in
you-
reference to
he's-
what you're
you
asking,
guys
it's a
define
single.
it for
Stop,
me.
stop talking. Everyone's
What's
talking. Stop
local,
talking.
guys?
Everyone who's talking, stop talking. It doesn't take long to do this. Okay, this conversation with Bevs don't have to take 5 fucking hours. It's a single position. That's all it means, man. A single point. You're gonna ask again for
A single
fucking
point
5 years
means
though,
local.
That's
because you don't
nothing.
understand what any of these things mean.
That's nothing.
That's kind of immaterial to the fact that, you know, there are lots of claims that seem to be backed by good evidence to say that
Where?
plumb lines aren't parallel.
Where? Lots of evidence. Where?
Thousands
Please.
of pictures from space.
Yeah.
Oh, give over, Jem.
I was just
Hundreds of hours of video from
Jesus.
space. The existence
Surveying
of satellites.
Pictures from
Two
space show that
celestial-
verticals.
Two
What?
celestial
Surveying
poles. The declination
Jim.
of Polaris. I mean,
Oh,
Jem.
Jem.
Of course, there's
Are we going
tons
to
of
space
evidence,
again? We're
but
gonna go
you
to
keep
space
trying to
again, are we?
redefine a word, Bevs. You're
I'm not
established
trying to
as a player
redefine
that
anything,
way.
Jem.
Definitely. It's definitely the strategy I'd go for.
I'm not redefining anything.
Just going round
Jem.
each individual human being and getting them to agree to a definition
Let's
of the word
get
level.
Curve to say he
will
was going to say
definitely-
surveying. He
that
was going to
will
do
definitely
something.
establish the shape of the Earth. Well done.
Jem, you claim Bev is trying to redefine. You can't even define what local is.
If anything, he would be redefining local. Local doesn't mean a single point.
I said in that context, it was the starting point of the measurement. It was a single
Point.
position.
Do you know what?
It
A
was a
point.
single position and
A
no other
point.
position. So
I've
how
never
can
seen
you
a
say?
definition
How can you?
that
I
says
couldn't
that.
define it. I defined it
Do you know what the
very
definition of a
specifically.
As
point
a
is?
point.
Yes,
Yeah.
as a point.
You know what a
Jem,
point
you're
is,
the one that's
Jem?
redefining
Yes, I
the
know what a
word.
point is. Do you know what a point is?
Nothing,
Define
Jem.
point.
That which
Point
has
is
no part.
nothing.
Why
That
does he keep
of
Define
yelling?
nothing.
no
Do you know what
parts.
nothing is? Define
That
nothing.
of no parts. Jem.
No, define no. Do you know what no is?
That
Oh,
of no
jeez.
parts, Jem, is a point. You have defined local as that of no parts. A
Well,
nothing
you can't
point,
use
Jim.
starting points in a
Local
colloquial
is
fashion
nothing.
to say,
Right.
That's
well, if
just
your starting
ridiculous.
point's here,
Idiotic
you need to
nonsense.
travel that way. Well, you can't reach the destination because you're not anywhere.
Here
because
comes
you're
the
at a starting
obfuscation.
point.
Stop talking before the other is finished.
You're just being obtuse, and it's idiotic. Anyone can do this, as I just
Local point
showed.
Origin point. In this context, the origin point from the measurement. Any measurement beyond the origin introduces a deviation, and if you are in an acceptable error bar of the deviation, you can call it local, and that's arbitrary. You can go to a local pub within 5 miles or 10 miles. It's arbitrary, but when you talk about measurements, especially for local and horizontal and all that nonsense, any deviation beyond the origin point introduces an error bar.
Oh, you can't say point! Oh my god, that means you mean nothing!
It's a water level. It has
Yeah,
two
that was a bit
that are equal at each end.
So let's get back to the
So
specifics.
which
of the
end is the point that your water level starts at? Which end,
Can't
Jem?
say point, Bev. What do you mean point? Point means nothing.
Okay,
According
which
to-
end?
according to
Which
private-
end of the water level
2
is the
points.
start?
Point.
And you start at. You asked the dumbest fucking question.
No, Jem says there's only one of them. There's two.
They're each gonna have their own unique verticals, horizontals, fucking levels. Like I don't know how you don't fucking
a water
understand.
level
There's
will
not-
have
there's
its
like a
own
simple concept.
verticals and
Doesn't understand it.
horizontals.
His argument is to be obtuse, isn't it? That's his thing. To just
because you don't understand the
people-
argument, Jim.
Well, look. Are we seriously expected
Jem,
to believe
you really
that
don't understand how a water
does
level
not
works?
understand
Seriously.
this concept from our point of view?
Seriously, Jem, you
we're-
don't understand how a water level works.
Why have I got to mute you all the time? Why is it like this? Why can't you just make
Because you
your
never
point?
shut up, Jem.
I don't think well,
Yeah,
I
I
talk
agree
quite
with
a
that.
bit, I admit, but I'm just taking part in the conversation. Every time I do, primates
No, you
speak
just
over
put
me.
everyone down that talks, Jem. Every time someone talks, you're on them like that. Wow, wow, wow.
Jim, it doesn't matter
Like,
what you
I've
believe. You
come here
can't
probably for the
prove what
second
you believe.
time ever
Oh, because
to
it's
listen to a
just-
conversation.
It's just
and
this
you're just
idiotic game being played out is annoying, and you know I think you should just admit
You're playing the game. That's you playing the game, Jem.
No, I'm not.
Yes, we're just trying to be straight with you here.
No, you're not.
Yes,
That's
we
That's
are.
a lie. Bev, that's a lie. You are doing the opposite of trying to be straight. You are deliberately trying to misunderstand words, trying to define words.
No, Jem.
In
To be
only
fair,
one
Jem, you
way.
haven't even
Jem.
really let him talk.
It's a game, and it's
Jem.
idiotic.
To be
And
fair,
your
you haven't let him
Scalpel-
talk, dude.
Scalpel really thought better of you than this.
Right.
Is there
What do you
anyone
mean,
in here
dude?
who's ever
Oh,
gone
don't
out
play
and
that
dated
one.
Just
Hold on.
Playing
Jem,
a
we've had
silly
conver-
troll game. It's just
Jem,
silly.
we've had conversations in the past about this behavior, and you and I both agreed at the time that it was like, it's not good to be yelling and all this bullshit. Remember?
Look,
Do you
let's-
remember that, though?
Look, don't start being the victim. Don't start being.
I'm
the
not
victim.
a victim. I'm telling you, dude. We've
But
had
I'm telling you-
conversations where we both agreed that this behavior was too much.
And I'm telling you that I'm
not
going
a
to
victim. I'm pointing it out.
Shut up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna respond in this way if I feel like it when this game is being played, and don't make out that I'm being unreasonable when I'm sat in a room with a grown man who's asking these moronic questions as if he
They're not
really doesn't
moronic.
understand.
I didn't say you were
They're not
unreasonable.
moronic.
Shut
I
up! I'm
said
still
we
speaking.
both agreed that.
I'm still speaking. He could engage in an adult conversation in a proper manner and not try and misunderstand everything that's being said to him
Jem,
in the
you
way
just
that he's
triggered,
doing.
Jem.
And I am
Yeah,
because
I know
it's,
you are.
because
It's
it's
obvious.
it's bullshit. You're a bullshitter. This is a
No,
this
he's
is
not.
like a
He's not.
double glazing salesman. Only
Don't
not
listen
very
to Jem
good one.
Hander.
You know, it's a game that you're playing, and
It's
I
not
don't
a
like
game,
it.
Jem. This is about as serious
I
as we
agree.
get. This
It's
is
a game.
reality.
Well, stop playing the game.
You're playing the game, Jem.
No. Not me, mate.
reality where we know that we've measured a difference between the you know, that plumb lines are not parallel.
Who-
And this
yeah.
has been
Who?
measured many times by
You.
surveyors.
You? Can I put your
Many,
name on?
many
Can I?
times by surveyors.
Can I put your name on the board, foolish? Can
You're
I?
not prepared to listen to a point before interrupting.
You said
so
we.
carry on.
You said we.
Because he wants to play his game.
No. I
Because
want
you
to
used the
know.
word we.
I want to know
Because you used
who we're talking about.
The collective term of we.
Yes.
To describe.
Yeah,
To describe
I want to know who
an
that we is.
accomplishment-
Yeah.
To describe an accomplishment of humanity, which of course any normal, reasonable person could understand as
And
part of
any
this
normal,
conversation.
reasonable person
But
would be
not
able to
Bev,
cite someone.
But not Bev, because Bev's playing a game.
No,
But go
I'm,
ahead.
I'm just asking who.
I'll cite the main surveyor. There you go. That's the
Okay,
last one
the
I
main
looked at.
surveyor, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a lot. He's a lot of them.
Yeah, I will also quote the geodetic surveys that were done across America in the 18 and 1900s.
Hang on,
Oh, is that-
Foolish. You
oh,
just you
I'll
hang
quote
on, Bev.
The
Bev.
geodetic surveying that was done across India.
Foolish, right?
I'll
You've just mentioned the
quote
main
the Royal
surveyor.
Society of Science.
Foolish.
You know, the Royal Society that actually promoted this and
Foolish
helped sponsor some of it.
delusions.
So there we go. They're the citations for you.
Okay.
And the main surveyor, who you cited there, also
no,
said
all of
that
those,
a
all of
horizontal
those.
plane can be established over a mile.
Yep.
So you have cited him in one case and denied him in another.
No, we didn't.
To suit
We
your
did not.
purposes.
I haven't denied anything
Yes,
yet.
you did.
When?
You
No, we
said that
didn't.
you can't. You said you can't establish a horizontal plane over a mile.
No, we didn't.
The main. Yes, you did.
No, we didn't.
And the main surveyor says you can. You said it actually drops.
Hold on.
Yes, that's
you
true.
can establish and look, if we think about this mathematically, 2 points on a sphere, you can establish an infinite number of horizontal planes that go through them. Okay,
There
but
are
look,
no
What?
straight lines on a sphere.
Yeah.
There are no straight lines.
An infinite number of
the thing is
horizontals
that
as
the,
well.
The planes will
Holy,
intersect the
wow.
sphere, and it will
you
look like
mental?
there's a bulge
And this is
above
why
the
people
plane.
get upset.
Okay,
Wow.
unless it's a tangent plane to the sphere. See, this is what I'm talking about. You guys
There are no
have
straight
absolutely
lines
on
no
the sphere. There's only one
understanding
straight line,
of
which
any
is
sort
talking
of
about it, but you don't
geometry
understand that.
besides, like, I mean, not even elementary geometry.
This
Yeah,
is the
really.
geometry where you
Yeah.
start to need. This is the geometry where you start to need to use the maths.
Yo,
It's not
guys.
drawing a
Oh,
shape on a
come
fret
on.
with a crayon.
Straight lines.
Yo, check out my stream. There's this live election coverage, and the fools didn't update Windows, so it automatically started updating during the live stream. Some election coverage from like a major news organization. It's hilarious.
All right, so when you say horizontal plane, you know, you
Over
have
a
to
mile.
be more clear about what you're talking
No,
about.
a plane
horizontal
is
plane,
mathematical.
what does it even mean?
Two-dimensional plane, right from maths,
Very clear.
in a horizontal
plane is-
position.
May I make something very, very clear? I'm not claiming anything. I am just claiming the fact that.
I'm
there
not claiming
are-
anything. I'm just claiming. How does that make any
No,
sense?
I'm not claiming
Foolish?
anything around horizontal lines or anything like that.
Yeah,
All
you
I'm
have. You've
saying
just said the
is-
main surveyor.
Can I just finish
You
my
said
point?
Jeff did
Can
it.
I finish my point?
I wrote it down.
Can I finish my
There's
point?
no take backs from the board of curvature.
No. Can I finish my point?
Yeah.
I wasn't
unless
talking
it's
anything to do
soundly.
with any form of geometry. All I was saying is there is a measurement that is there that is showing that plumb lines are not parallel. That's the
Exactly.
only point that I am making with in this particular moment.
So, do you concur with the main surveyor that a horizontal plane can be formed over the course of a mile? Then, Foolish.
Why not?
All I'm
a
saying is
horizontal
he has
plane
got a
over a ball.
measurement that is showing that plumb lines are not parallel.
And he
Oh.
also
Is
stated
he-
also
and I'm also
stated
claiming-
that a
I'm
horizontal
also
plane
claiming
can be
that
formed
that has
over a
been
mile.
observed. Can I finish?
He's got a
And that has been-
measurement.
and that has been claimed many, many times by professional surveyors.
Is he saying
No,
that
I
a
don't think it
horizontal
has.
plane approximates the surface of the Earth over the course
No,
of a mile,
a
or is he actually
horizontal
saying
plane-
that the actual literal surface of the Earth is a horizontal plane perfectly flat over a mile?
Whoever
I mean, see,
claimed
this is
that.
what I'm talking about.
Who-
You guys
whoever
No,
are
claimed
I'm not.
that.
I don't think he's claiming that. I think that's just a sight line between 2 points, isn't it? That he's taken as a horizontal.
Right.
Exactly.
Not a physical
so it's like
thing.
you're
Making this
mixing,
I mean, no
mean
one's
they
the
stupid
think
enough
surface
to
of the
think
Earth
that-
as well.
that the Earth
Yeah.
is actually some ideal mathematical object that's like, they think we're saying that it's perfectly.
I think we
that
use
there's an actual
Euclidean
plane, like,
geometry to
perfectly
do
flat
surveying
surface
measurements.
between,
Shut up, Bev.
Whoever
Wait.
claimed that he was saying that it's a plane between that the surface of the Earth is
You
that
guys
plane.
literally claim that the
Who-
Earth
no.
is a plane, which in itself would be nonsensical because obviously
Who said
you got
that?
mountains and shit.
Whoever said that?
Look, I'm
That's
talking
nearly as
about- this is
ridiculous
what
as
my
Jem
point-
saying
hold
it's
on,
flat.
Let me just say one point.
Yes.
The point is that if you're going to use
See, more
mathematical
silly
terms and talk
games.
about planes and stuff, then you have to be very careful about, are you actually talking about a plane? Or
A
are you
plane.
talking about the surface is over a certain
The
amount? of
two-dimensional
distance is
mathematical
approximately-
plane.
This is how
Yeah.
serious Bev is about this argument. He had flat Earth stickers all over his stuff. on
Trigger
his
trigger
spirit
stickers, I
level,
call them.
On his spirit level.
Did they
all
work,
over the
Jem?
place.
Did they
And
work?
he's had to take them all off.
No, I
so
haven't
that
took
he can
'em off.
make this silly argument about flat,
'em off.
meaning,
They
meaning no
triggered
hills or
you,
valleys,
didn't they?
and him not being a flat earther.
I'm
He's
not
had-
a
he's
flat
had to
earther,
remove
Jem.
them all
Jem,
so
I'm
he can
not.
pull this argument
Not a flat earther. I'll say it again.
So he
I
can
have to say it
pretend
every
to be
time I come
something
round
he's
here.
not.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
it's observably
pointing
not
that out.
flat.
Just pointing that out as we went
Have you
along.
noticed
Thank
how
you.
he's moved it on
Yeah, yeah.
from
When
the
you-
horizontal
when you say
plane?
you're not a
He's
flat
Brings
earther,
in
we
flat
don't-
again
we
as
don't-
well.
we don't
Yeah.
claim
I'm
that
just
we
pointing
live
out
on a
how
globe and that we
dishonest
have
Just
you are,
trying to
Bev.
trying to get away from the horizontal plane, Jim. Because it
How you're
scares you.
hiding your flat eartherism in
It
order to
scares
make
you,
arguments.
There we go. It's name calling
horizontal
again.
plane
Right.
Instead of
scares you.
attacking the
Look,
people, can we attack
I
the
believe,
argument?
the
though?
Earth is
Seems
spherical.
like
I'm not.
there's an
I don't
awful
have
lot
to
of attacking
pretend
people.
I believe something different in order to pull off an argument like
It's
Bev does.
Jem.
The horizontal plane
Why is it
scares
about
you.
Bev and not the argument?
Topography on a sphere.
Well,
Topography on
Bev's
a sphere
making the
doesn't
argument,
change
and
the
his
underlying
argument is based on this.
You're
silly-
making up what you
I
think
think
the
we should
argument
point
is.
out his silliness.
It's not an argument.
It is an argument though, because you can have topography on a sphere and it
I've
doesn't
I've
change
put a
the
proof
underlying
out. That's what we came here for, to talk about. Have you seen the
Ben,
proof?
You're
I
conflating,
can't follow
you're
a
conflating the
damn thing.
topography with the actual shape of the Earth. You don't make a claim to the shape of the Earth. You just claim the topography.
I just
is
claim that level
flat.
is horizontal.
Everybody
That's all we
fucking
do.
Interjecting on top of everybody. Nobody can fucking hear anything. Chill for a second and let people fucking finish. And please be mindful to finish.
Thanks, Curved.
Mm-hmm.
Good
well,
job.
I mean, it's just you when you say the words horizontal and all this kind of shit. There is like a horizontal plane. What the fuck? A plane always is going to be horizontal. I mean, it's perfectly flat.
No, it's
I mean,
not.
This is you just have you don't have enough
A
understanding.
plane, a
to
plane
even
can
make
be in
an argument about what you're
any
arguing.
way, can't it? It can be in any position. The horizontal bit just gives it
That's
a
what I'm saying.
position.
The
Yeah.
word horizontal applied to a
Bev,
plane
you need
means
help
nothing.
listening?
It depends on how you look at it. If you look at it from straight on, yeah, you could say it's quote horizontal in terms of a layman's perspective, but the word means absolutely
Yeah,
nothing.
I'm talking about expertise of using level, like the professionals, the professional people that use the term level, horizontal. They use tools like auto levels.
They're
and-
not saying. Look,
Yeah.
I'm just saying you're mixing up.
I'm not
like-
mixing it up.
Yeah, no, you are because.
What?
you're
Go on, tell me
using
what.
words
What,
like
what am I
parallel
mixing
and
up?
using
He's
geometric
trying to tell you,
terms.
Bev. Let him tell you.
He thinks you're just looking at it.
Cheers,
We're
Kev.
measuring it, man. Measuring it. It's not just looking.
When you say two plumb lines, when your argument is two plumb
horizontal.
lines have to be perfect
No, my
and
argument
parallel,
is level is
geometrically, so
horizontal.
that means,
Don't
like, the Earth
don't
must
get it
be
wrong.
flat. It's like you don't.
That's what Jeff, the main surveyor, said.
Like how to begin.
Not
It's
me.
So fucking.
You've got people claiming that he said something, so I'd ask him how he does that. I'm just going to hear to prove that level is horizontal.
Good luck with that.
I've just posted from a surveying textbook where they're talking about this topic.
Yep.
That's what they teach the professionals, Bev.
Do they? Do they?
Could you be more incredulous for no reason?
Well, yeah, I'm just looking there and looking at. See, can you see that horizontal plane that's off at an angle from the horizontal?
And you see the two plumb lines, Bev, that are
Yep.
not fucking parallel.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They're just about as ridiculous as that horizontal that isn't horizontal.
So that's what they teach the professionals.
Yeah,
This is what we're gonna
I
do.
seriously doubt that.
We're going to put together a GoFundMe. We're going to book a trip for Bev to go to Fresno State and give the people that wrote this cockamamie book a good what for.
It's so pathetic. It really is.
So they made the whole conspiracy to keep the Earth flat.
Okay, so-
but they just never thought about this simple,
what point-
elementary geometric argument.
At what
that Bev
point
would
can
come
we
up with
measure
about the whole goddamn thing?
that? At some point, the horizontal, right? The horizontal will intersect with the horizontal, right?
That's correct.
Right. Okay. Now, where have you heard of that before, ever?
Oh, I know this. Spherical geometry.
Okay.
What do I like?
You've heard of horizontals on spherical geometry? Wow. Nice. You have to show us that page. So how would you measure the angle difference?
Dad, would you buy that?
What?
Euclid told me.
Where would you measure the angular difference between the horizontals that are intersecting?
At their point of intersection?
Yep. So the angle between a horizontal at that point, what would it be? The angle between the two horizontals, sorry.
That's a full question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knowing what you know about geometry, you actually think that's a complete question.
Yeah.
I know the answer. It'll be a whole number. It'll be a whole number. What do I win?
Go on. What would be the angular change or difference between the two horizontals at the point that they intersect?
It'll be a whole number. You haven't given me any angle measurement, so all I can do is be vague. A whole number, though.
Bev, what is the distance? What's the size of this triangle or whatever that's being created here? The 2 points.
No, it's just two
where they are
horizontals.
horizontal.
Yeah.
Where the planes are horizontal.
Yeah.
You would probably need the level of each of those, the altitude or elevation, and the distance from those, and you probably calculate it from that.
There is a more general answer.
What would you think that would be?
There is a more general answer.
Wow.
If you have two level references.
Is that Jeff?
No. If you have two
you
level
sure?
references.
Sounds like Jeff.
It's not. If you have two level references taken at two different points.
Yeah.
Shut up, you idiots. Go ahead, dude. Sorry.
If you have two level references at two different points, and those two level references intersect somewhere, the angle between those two level references will be 180 degrees minus the angle difference on the surface of that at the spherical surface.
Okay, so you take the bottom angle, do you, not the top angle?
Doofus.
Yeah.
Do I need to draw a picture, though?
Take the yeah, go on, please, and show us how to measure the angular
you know what
difference
right
between two
triangles are, Bev?
horizontals.
I mean,
Sorry, somebody say something. Euclidean right-angled
said-
triangles.
I said, do you know what right triangles are?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, I've worked through. Everybody's been through the board with us on triangles. Yeah, especially the right-angled triangles, right? We like the right-angled triangles. Who's that? Who's the other surveyor guy? You must like right-angled triangles, right?
Are you making a point or babbling?
No, somebody was just telling me something, asking me about right-angled triangles, and I just answered them. Is that all right?
Yeah, you answered, and then you went on and seemed to be babbling. That's all. That's all I was asking.
Well, I just given him a bit more information.
Point to what you're saying.
Seems like Bev's answers shut the chat down as well. Nobody's got anything to come back with.
I think
We're waiting for Doofus to draw it in crayon for Bev, so he gets it. That
Okay.
if you have a right angle and a right angle, which should equal 180 degrees, and the measurements don't equal 180 degrees, we need to draw that out for him so he can see that it doesn't equal 180 degrees.
Measurements.
Yeah,
What are the three things we're measuring distance to?
And again, your evidence for plumb lines not being parallel.
No. Level.
The surveyors
Yeah.
are going to call
Well, see,
reciprocal
what
zenith
we do.
Are you not familiar with
Curved.
that?
Right. What we do, I mean, we're slightly different, but because vertical and horizontal are perpendicular to each other. What we do is we've gone for the approach of the perpendicular to your vertical with the horizontal. So when we prove that level is horizontal, then you can put a plumb bob to that water level, like anywhere along it, and it will be perpendicular to it, which proves it's sort of, in a quick way, that it's horizontal.
You understand
that just proves
they're saying that it's a tangent line basically to the sphere.
No, I said
That
it's a
would be
horizontal.
Horizontal, quote unquote.
No, I just said it was a horizontal, yeah. One's a vertical and one's a horizontal.
I'm going to post this picture. This was a diagram that was made by Main Surveyor in his debate, where he does exactly this, and he shows the data that he used to produce it.
What, the
That's
one with
going
the...
to do D Marble's spirit level experiment
shelf?
again, but over 1 mile of a canal.
The shelf?
That will be
Which
compelling.
picture are we
well
looking at?
done.
Yeah.
Hand carried, no airplane.
Yeah.
Right, there's loads of pictures gone up there. We're meant to be looking at anyone in particular.
Look
That
at
is
the
what
one.
you're doing, Bev. You realize that, don't you?
Pardon?
Here, look at this. Everybody look at this one. This was actual measurements that the Main Surveyor did, showing exactly what's being talked about here.
Which is
about the
this
spherical excess.
If we had to ask you, Bev, which one do you think we're talking about? Which one would you pick?
I haven't got a clue. There's loads of pictures there. That's why I said, which one are we talking about?
That's more telling than you know there, Bev.
Yeah.
733. I
Nicely
think.
done. I
Well,
mean, brilliant. I mean, this is why we come here for the intellectual conversation, right?
32 after the hour, Bev, by Jake on the plane.
Jake.
I think, yeah. 32 after the hour.
Oh, right, nice.
Phil just posted it again.
Posted it again.
Oh,
Just in
sorry,
case
he
you
posted
can't
it
miss
again.
Okay.
Oh,
nice.
and Matt's just posted it too, just
All
in
right.
case you
Well,
missed that.
thank you very much. Brilliant. Now, what are we looking at?
Jeez, look at all these
picture.
people that could follow, yet you couldn't, Bev.
Okay, what are we looking at? Is this as somebody was here and somebody is there? Distance at the bottom, is that feet? Hello?
I believe it's feet, but it doesn't matter if
in
it's feet or
feet, yes,
meters.
Bev.
Okay.
It wouldn't matter if it was in feet or meters, though. Make no difference at all.
Yep. And
Well, you could quibble about the distance if it was meters, to be fair.
and what are you saying about that?
Plumb lines don't look to be level.
Because we
Parallel
went through
to
this
the-
the other day.
Yeah, these
over
plumb lines are not parallel
See-
because the angles between those 2 points is greater than 180
that's what
degrees.
They teach, and that's what they teach in all the surveying books that are textbooks that they teach surveyors with.
Right. So
And that's what surveyors use, and it's actually part of the mechanism that's used.
So you're
within,
saying
you know,
18
long-range
seconds?
surveying,
Oh yeah.
you know,
You're
and
saying
that's
18
what's going
seconds.
on there. And you can do incredulity as much as you
No,
want.
I'm trying to
I'm not
just
saying-
clarify
I'm
the
not
geometry
saying-
that we're talking about.
I'm not saying that this one observation is the conclusive point of evidence. I'm saying it's the whole fucking body. The fact that it's taught as part of surveying practice that plumb lines are not going to be parallel over distance.
Okay.
So it's there, and you're denying it, and I want
Okay.
to know why.
So I'm just looking at this picture here, right? Are
Yes,
you saying
18 seconds over 1,200 feet.
18 seconds over 1,200
Yes,
feet.
18
right, okay.
seconds over 1,200
Do you
feet.
know-
Which, by the way, you can use that to compute the R
Do you-
value.
yeah,
and it
you
will
compute
compare
anything,
to a
you do
value
whatever you
that's
want.
equivalent to many other completely independent measurements of R, such
Okay.
as the measure of the drop of the horizon with elevation, such as measuring how much the celestial sphere tilts as you travel across the surface of the Earth. That will all comport to that same R value.
Okay, can I have a little go now? You all right? You're not
Go on,
triggered?
sorry, go on, Bev.
Yeah.
No, I'm not triggered. I just want to know why you were
Over
denying that,
over
that surveyors say that
700
plumb lines aren't
meters when you are looking, right? When you are looking at it, imagine you're looking 700 meters at a football. Right now, over that distance, how much of that football do you reckon you'd see through a crosshair? Do you reckon the crosshair might cover that football completely?
Well, we're not talking about that.
Well, I am,
We're
because I'm
talking-
just trying to explain to you.
Are you saying that you can't see? Are you saying you can't see a football through a telescope at 700?
Particular question to him, and I'd really like him to address it.
You triggered again. You didn't let me finish,
triggered,
and you
though.
both started talking again. So I
I'm
was just
not.
asking you: do you think you'd see a football over 700 meters, or
Happy to
could
address that question.
the
Once you've answered
crosshair
mine.
cover it?
Ask it again, Foolish. Have another go.
That was my question first. I asked if you've finished. You said yes. I then asked a question in order to give you an idea what it actually looks like looking through one of these scopes and measuring an angle. Now, if you don't want to go along with that, fair enough. Somebody else might decide to come and tell you at some point.
With that, after you've addressed my question,
Okay.
which I asked first.
Go on. Question again, please.
Why did you deny? All I've done for the last 10 minutes is post textbook page after textbook page from surveying textbooks, which are taught in universities and colleges, and they're all saying the same thing, that plumb lines are not parallel on the surface of the Earth, and it's measurable, and this is how you do the measurements. And you denied that earlier on, and I wanted to know why.
Because I have a proof. A personal proof that level is horizontal. Right now, you
That wasn't
showing
my
me
question.
a picture in a book won't make any difference to that.
Yeah, that wasn't my
you
question.
Have to. What? Why did I ignore them?
No. Why did you deny it? You emphatically
I haven't denied them.
that's
What have I denied?
You emphatically denied that's what surveyors did, and that's why I posted all that evidence that that's what they're taught and it's what they do.
You posted some books. Yes.
Pictures.
So here, I just did.
Fantastic.
Hang
Well
on,
done.
Hang on, Jake. Let Foolish finish this point. 'cause
Oh,
I'm not gonna press any more than that, Jem, because otherwise it just gets boring.
Now, can I get back to my point that I was going to make?
I did the math on your football claim. Okay, I just did the math on that. Okay, so we used the football. I'm assuming you mean a soccer ball for us Americans. Okay,
About 22 centimeters. Yeah, don't know what that is in inches.
Yeah, exactly. I did that. I did that over.
This is 90.
I did that over 700 meters, which will yield an angular diameter of 1 arc minute with 5 seconds. Okay. A surveying grade theodolite typically will have about half an arc second. The diameter of those crosshairs will be somewhere around half an arc second. So this is way, 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 way bigger than what the crosshairs would be. So I'm not sure where you're going with this.
I was just trying to give people an idea, right, of what they're looking at within the hair. Right?
Yeah, well, this is easily measurable within a theodolite with half a second of accuracy, considering this thing is over a minute in angular
Half a
size.
second.
Yeah, half a second.
Oh, dude. That's what I was going to get to, right? So a football over, I think it's 758 meters, perhaps, or something like that, is an arc minute or 1 minute of angle change over that distance from the top to the bottom of a football. Right now, you
can almost see it with the naked eye.
The
It's
claimed
right at the
measurements
limit of
within there
resolution with the naked eye.
are over 1,200 feet. 1,200 feet, and
Right.
they are measuring down to the. Ooh, look at that second. I mean, that's down to a second, that isn't it?
I just told you that instrumentation has a accuracy of half a second.
Yeah, I know you said that. Yeah. But I was pointing out that
it's published
over that
it's-
sort of
it's published data.
distance, that you know how perspective compression works over distance with obviously when you're looking through the
Fancy
scope.
bringing out the 1
Yeah,
minute
this has
angle
absolutely nothing to
accuracy
do with
rifles,
compression.
and we can just
Yeah, it does.
Nothing to do with
Images.
No, nothing to do with perspective compression.
Yeah, it is,
Nothing.
because as you get further away, everything compresses into it. I mean, that's what the Stadia hairs are
Yeah,
there
and
for,
then when
right?
you zoom, and then when you look through a telescope, it all uncompresses.
So what is the width
And then
of
as
the
soon as you
hair?
look through a telescope, it uncompresses compared to what you see with your
Yeah,
eyes.
stuff will-
and then
stuff will
when you
compress
go to
into
a
it.
bigger telescope, and then when you go to a bigger magnification through the telescope, it uncompresses more and more up until you reach the optical limits of that device.
You sound. Are you a surveyor, Jake? You sound.
Once you've calculated once you've calculated
you're
the
not.
angular size,
Okay,
perspective compression has nothing to do with
Looks
it.
like you've looked into this, though, right? Nice.
Yeah, well, I've been in astronomy a long time, so we talk about angle measurements there as well, and
Okay.
optics.
Yeah. Brilliant.
I've got your picture.
So-
She's like, yeah, of course. I'm wrong, but I'm going to keep going.
No, I like so
Right.
the hair has a thickness within the lens And as you go away from that, the perspective compression will make more and more compress into that hair. So over that sort of a distance, you can't measure. There's too much of an angle disappeared inside the hair. What is it that you can't understand about
it's
that?
just based on your magnification. Your magnification is all that's going to be the limiting factor as to what you'll be able to measure, the level of magnification.
No, a certain amount will compress
into
the hair.
magnification, you can measure even smaller than that.
So
right, which astronomers do all
I
the
wouldn't
time.
go
With a
over.
gigantic telescope,
I wouldn't go
you're
over
measuring
100
fractions.
meters. You can't get. You're losing too much over that distance.
What are you talking about?
I don't think you guys realize how many seconds are in a degree. I don't think you guys.
Can you equate how much actual
3,600.
how much size the half an
half
arc
a
second,
second.
half a second? Like how much size would that be over
The
the distance
diffraction
you're talking?
limit is the only limit to how the angular resolution of a telescope.
Yeah, we're just talking about a level for measuring angles, aren't we? Isn't that what we're doing?
No bearing on your part, Bev.
In fact, you're using a theodolite, aren't you?
No bearing whatsoever to being able to make and take these measurements. You can
Yeah,
do
you're
it
getting at the
100
error
times,
margin.
You can do it 1,000 times. If you think that you might be off by one, you can get the mean average of all of it, and you're still going to come up with something that doesn't equal 180 degrees.
Okay, so you say that horizontals intersect at a midpoint in between wherever you're measuring the thing from, right?
I've got your picture for you, Bev.
Right?
Bev.
Of course.
Hey guys. Yeah, is that what you're saying? That horizontals intersect at a midpoint?
Look at the picture and see if that's what he's saying.
Yes, that is what we're saying. Yes.
Nice.
And
Or
even
that's
on
what
a
they're
flat
saying,
Earth,
that's
they
their
would
argument.
intersect.
Horizontals would intersect. I'd say they never intersect. They're always
you want to,
parallel
don't
with the horizon. Horizontal is parallel with the horizon. You can't have something that's parallel to something intersect with itself. That's ridiculous.
Well, maybe then that's the trick. You're right.
It sounds like there's a bit
They're
of a
not
fallacy
parallel.
that somebody's having to deal with and live with there.
Oh, they're not.
No, it just means your definition of plumb is wrong.
Vertical.
The surface that you're on is wrong.
Is that vertical? Is that okay with
Do you
you?
understand
Plum?
that an ant on a basketball would have a different
Ant on a basketball. Bring it out.
angle, or the tangent line to the horizon would be different for every point on the sphere?
No, vertical would always be vertical for the ant. He can't change verticals because he jumps on a ball. No, not even an ant has that superpower.
To his eye level, and that would the vertical obviously would change based on where he moves.
No, don't be silly.
Just for the record, I just posted a video of a guy shooting a football-sized target at 1,000 yards with a scope. I hope we can put that whole scope thing to rest now because that was rather sad.
I can hit 500-meter shots easily within my scope range, accurately.
I know.
How would
And
a
I thought-
vertical for an ant on a basketball be the same no matter where it is? I mean, that's just fucking
Because
stupid.
vertical, the basketball's in reality, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah. So you
yeah,
can't
it's-
manipulate
okay,
a vertical
it's in
like that.
reality.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can't, can you? Or do you think you can?
Think I can what?
Do you think you can manipulate a vertical by jumping on a ball?
Establish vertical to the center of the basketball. Yes.
Vertical to the center of the basketball.
Where do you think the eye level of the ant is going to be as he walks around the basketball?
Eye level?
Where he's looking out directly forward in front of
In
him.
a straight line. Yeah? Horizontally. In a straight line. That level.
Bev, are you arguing why your experiment's not going to
I'm
work
just-
or why it's going to work?
No, I'm just trying to define the words that we're using. I'm just trying to ask him what he means by the words he's using. I'm not so sure he knows.
Position relative to
shouldn't you
all of
just show
its,
your
all of the
demonstration
ant's
that-
feet. It's where the ant is looking if he looks straight ahead.
Yo.
That's not level,
eyes
is it?
Don't work like that.
That's just looking where,
This
where
is
the
the
ants
dumbest
looking.
shit I've ever fucking
Bro,
heard. Are you
ant eyes
serious?
almost like a disco ball. They have like.
Unfortunately, he is.
They look in a bunch of different directions, so each little segment looks in one spot.
Welcome to arguing with Bev, by the way. It is the stupidest thing you've ever heard.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Can this guy? Wait. The guy, not Bev, but the other guy. Wait, what did you say?
Yeah, ants have like compound eyes with like a lot of different segments. All right, so think of.
Okay, so where's the center of his field of view? If the ant is just sitting there like the ants always do, any position they're in, their eye level has to be looking somewhere, right? The center of their eye.
No, their field of view is split into different parts of the different segments.
Dude, no one fucking cares, bro.
Sweet, I like that one. I'll get that one next time. Who said that? Hat tip. Thank you very much.
Of course, Bev would like that. More obfuscation.
No,
Hang
it's
on,
just
excuse
more
me,
reality,
now
right?
I'm technically wrong.
Yeah.
Another thing I can use to play games.
No, it's not playing games. It's being
You are bad, you're
precise.
playing games.
So what species of ant were they?
Oh, sorry, I forgot that there are probably species of ants that like are blind and they just, well, I don't know. I guess that is possible.
we
but
gotta
we
be
can fucking see
precise.
their eyes, so they're not blind.
And obviously, I need to know whether it's a drone or a warrior or a queen ant.
Do you?
Yeah, I obviously need to know exactly where it was done on a
Probably
video.
wouldn't be evolutionarily advantageous
we'll just settle
for them
for
to be able to
for
see
level
directly
and
forward in
like
front of them.
understanding
That wouldn't make any sense,
what they
right?
mean
I
by
think-
straight.
I think we need to interview the ants' grandparents.
Does anybody disagree that
to
the demo's gonna work?
establish the provenance of the ant?
Precision. You're right.
It's been pretty productive
No
coming
room for
here,
an error
guys.
bar.
I'm glad for your
No,
help.
It hasn't really. It's just pointless obfuscation.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. The only objections I've heard to your demonstration, Bev, is it's going to be very expensive. That's the only objections I've heard.
Who did I hear somebody the other day say it
How
was 10
unusual.
grand? Who was that?
How unusual for a flat Earth
Did you?
experiment.
I heard that the other day. Well, how do you think it's going to be costly? What do you mean? What's very costly
I'm
to
saying,
you?
I'm trying to give you support here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say nobody's disagreeing with the fact that everybody agrees that this should demonstrate a spherical or flat Earth one way or another.
No, it won't.
Why?
I don't agree with that. Nobody agrees
Okay,
with
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm
What?
sorry. I thought he was going to recreate
Plumb
the
line's
thing that
not
we've done
parallel.
before.
Oh dear. What
my
do you mean,
bad.
Jem?
It's not going to demonstrate anything.
You can't tell a difference between a straight or a curve, Jem.
If a plumb line's
Not
not
using your
parallel,
method. Not using your method.
Jem, you can't tell the difference between a
Yes,
straight or a
yes,
curve.
I can. Yes, I can.
How, Jem? How?
Using your
Oh,
method.
that's brilliant,
you can't.
Jem.
No one
Yo.
can. Your method will not.
Yeah, I don't think
establish
you've
that
looked
in
at
any
it
way.
hard enough, have you, Jem? I
you
don't
have,
think.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
you
not
have.
so
It's
sure.
I think
retarded.
Jem's
It's
also saying
retarded,
the
and-
surveyors
and-
can't.
And you keep saying
Can't
this. You
construct
keep
that
saying,
horizontal
well,
plane.
I've added this now, and I've changed that now, and then I go back and look, and it's still just retarded nonsense.
Jem, I
Jem, how
thought
do
he
you
was
measure a
cloning
straight
the
line
already
on a globe?
standing
But it's
demonstration.
silly.
How do you
It doesn't
measure a
matter
straight
how
line?
I would do it. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. You're
Doesn't-
claiming that you can
no,
have
hold
them, but
on.
how do you do it?
Look.
How do you ensure it's straight?
Percentage. Let me make my point again, okay? Bev's test is retarded and will demonstrate nothing, okay?
Only according to
Now,
you.
How I would do something is irrelevant to that point.
Ah.
No, you are irrelevant.
Thanks for the help, Jem. You've been really helpful.
Why would I help you? What would I
you
help you
demonstrate
for?
why
I'm not in
it's
any
different.
doubt about the shape of the Earth. You
It's
are.
not. That's not what we're doing, Jem. We're establishing.
Can we get back to the specifics?
We're establishing the base.
I'm not in any doubt about the
We're starting
definition
off
of
with the
word
baseline
either.
and to understand whether
You
level
are.
is level is horizontal or is it if it's curved.
Yeah.
Curved.
Okay. I'll just look in
Gravity
the
curves it.
dictionary
What the
for a
fuck?
definition of a word. I don't need to do a
Gravity
test on a canal to
curves
define a
a
word.
line.
Make sure you look in the right dictionary.
Yeah.
This argument.
But Bev, does
They
your
maintain
does
that
your
they have
test
straight
just-
lines, and they
Oh,
maintain
sorry.
that it's a globe, but they run away from trying to explain how they could have straight lines on a globe.
There are no fucking straight lines on a globe.
There
Thank
aren't,
you.
right, 100%.
I mean,
Well done.
literally, a glass of water is going to conform to, I guess, a little tiny difference in gravity over its surface. That's their argument. See, this is what I'm talking about. You guys don't understand their argument. So they're
What
that
argument?
technically
Nothing to do with a glass of
force
water,
would be-
mate.
The level of force would be inconsistent over the surface of even a glass of water.
Hydrostatics, that's a
One
good
side of the
test.
glass,
Yeah.
One end of the glass would have a different
It's
plumb
not talking
line
about
angle than the other end
hydrostatics,
of the
Bev.
glass.
Listen about the round gravity. Every time you do your little whiteboard demos,
Round
you need to
gravity.
draw.
Mm.
Listen, every time you
That's
do your
interesting.
whiteboard demos, Bev, you need to draw out both models: the flat model that you're drawing and the globe model.
Why?
You need to
I
do
just
both.
do reality, dude. That's all I do.
Nah,
Your-
no,
does
that's
your
not
test,
man.
Bev,
Just do reality.
Said that
It's
you
all right.
can't have straight lines on a globe.
Bev,
You're
does-
right. You
does
can't
your-
have straight lines on a globe, but you can have one straight line on a
Can't-
the
on a
plumb
s-
line.
on a
So
sphere.
only
Get
straight
this, there's a
line.
problem, man. I thought you had.
What's that, guys? I just want to get one point in quickly, if I may.
Same on the same old shit again. Damn.
The question I wanted to ask Bev: does your test assume that plumb lines are parallel?
No, it's just the horizontal. That's all we're bothered about.
No.
Level
But
is
how are you measuring the horizontal?
With surveying tools, auto level and.
Yeah, and are you taking into the fact that you're using a plumb line to level your instruments, aren't you?
That's down to the surveyors.
No, you don't use a plumb line to it. No.
Yes, you do.
Who said that?
How are you going to
Your
level?
I've got an auto
Your
level.
Your
I've
auto
never
level's
used a
using
plumb line. I never use a plumb line.
The bubble in an auto level is a reference to plumb.
The auto level establishes a horizontal plane of reference, right?
With respect to plumb.
It's a horizontal plane of reference.
With
Yeah.
respect to plumb.
Of course, it's perpendicular to it. Yes.
So
That's important because horizontal is not the base thing. Plumb is the base thing that you're
They're
starting.
perpendicular.
Fine. You call it perpendicular.
That's
You
the
can
same
argue
thing.
about the
Plumb
mechanism.
perpendicular.
It's the
Yes.
same
Hang on.
thing.
Hang on. Who's that surveyor guy that just was talking? If the auto level works off of plumb, and we establish a horizontal plane over a mile, then the opposite end of that mile would establish a plumb, and both plumbs would be parallel.
But they're not.
No, they would
Yeah.
because they're coming off of the same horizontal plane.
Sure, but
You're assuming
then that
plumb is
horizontal
parallel
plane
everywhere.
wouldn't-
No, we're not
That's an
assuming
assumption.
anything. That,
One
no,
plane.
that was
Plane.
geometry. Did you not see it?
Oh, that's exactly my point.
It's one plane. You're saying that the two plumbs
You're
at each end of the same plane wouldn't be parallel.
Your assumption is
How
that plumb
retarded
is
are you?
parallel everywhere.
How retarded are you? If it's one plane,
So-
one horizontal plane, a plumb at each end,
Yes,
they're going to
yes,
be parallel.
Mr. Chirpet.
Which is an assumption
Yes,
that you are making.
It's a geometrical
Yeah,
assumption, yeah, because they're perpendicular.
Plumb line is perpendicular to a different horizontal plane. That's what you
you lot
fucking
are
idiots
so
don't understand.
retarded.
Yo, you guys know
You
what a plane
posted your
is?
intersecting horizontals and you don't care about
Oh, so retarded. It's the same horizontal plane
What's
with a
plane
plumb at
geometry?
each end.
Chirpet
and you
is-
think
It's
they're
a
not
nice
parallel.
assertion, Primate, but you need to demonstrate it in some way, and you haven't.
It's
Yeah,
coming,
and
Jem.
you-
Don't you worry.
We're looking forward to it. It's going to
Stop
be
crying,
wonderful.
Jem. It's coming.
Look, why would I cry? I've seen what he's going to do. It will establish nothing, and we will
A
just
horizontal
continue to laugh
plane.
at him as we have so far.
Oh,
It
you're
will
Can we
laughing.
get back to the
establish a
specifics of the
horizontal
test?
plane,
It would
Jem.
just be more silliness, more flat Earth silliness.
You-
Do you
you-
understand that there
Jen,
there
you
are
cry,
an infinite
you
number
get
of
tears
horizontal quote unquote planes that are tangent to a sphere? Do you understand that?
We're only interested in one over the course of a mile. The same one.
You cry and you're
Why
So
are
put
you-
a second one in there.
Cry, straight line.
Don't need a second one. Why do we need a second one?
That's the problem. If you don't establish that both of them are
We don't
they're
need a
different from
second
each
one.
other,
We don't need a second one. We've got one over the course of a mile. With a
But
perpendicular
again,
at one
there are an
end and a
infinite number
perpendicular
of
at the other one,
tangent planes
and
to a
they are
sphere.
parallel
So how
perpendiculars.
do we know that these are the same tangent planes?
Because
You
they're going to be
haven't,
formed
you
by
haven't got
a
that
surveyor.
though, have you?
It's not a tangent plane,
You wish
is it?
you'd got that, and you hope
It's
to
not a
have it at some
tangent.
point in the future, but you don't have it. So stop pretending that you do.
Sorry, mate, just one little lime on that salt.
Huge shifting of the burden of proof policy right here.
Dear.
Pro-birthers, I'm saying they have straight
Burden
lines.
You
of
lot are
proof
running
that there are an
so
infinite number of tangent
fast.
planes
Yeah,
to
very
the
funny.
sphere. Jesus Christ, are you that fucking stupid?
No,
It's
that's
not an
pro-birthers
infinite
have
number.
straight
It's
lines.
They're not that
360.
stupid, but they
360.
pretend to be for some
Yeah.
reason. I don't know why.
29,600.
So, obviously, Chorobates forgot that we'd already discussed the fact that it's taught that plumb lines aren't parallel.
Is it?
And there's a lot of evidence that has been
But it's
collected
never been
to
proven.
demonstrate that.
Demonstrated.
It's never been
And-
proven, has it?
And it was
Foolish.
actually demonstrated by Main
Foolish.
Surveyor and his results.
It's never been proven.
Again, you're denying,
Measured.
you're denying the fact that it's been measured.
Foolish, if we construct a horizontal plane over the course of a mile with a perpendicular at one end, a plumb perpendicular at the other, then those perpendiculars, because they're coming off the same horizontal plane, are going to be parallel.
Which you are assuming
Only
without
if
measuring.
gravity's
I'm
equal.
not
only
assuming
if you
anything. It's a
constructed-
geometric
Not
proof.
equal. The vector is different. You'll have an angle.
It's a geometric proof.
And if you
retard.
Yeah, if you can make it rigid, sure. If you can make it rigid, it's about how you construct it.
I will let someone else try and beat this simplistic piece of information.
It's
into
not-
man's
it's-
brain.
We have
because you
objects
haven't
that
got
are
the balls,
straight.
Foolish.
We have objects. that
No,
are straight.
I'm more
Your
than
girly
happy
voice,
to-
your girly voice not
you
loud
are-
enough.
He's seen the
you're
trap
denying
coming,
the
right?
fact- You're denying the fact that this is taught. This is how
You're
surveyors
pathetic,
taught.
Foolish.
In
You're
the
talking about
demonstration,
basic.
Because the
I'm
lenses.
listening to the insults rather than dealing with the argument. I appreciate that that's an issue for
It's
you.
basic geometry,
So-
Foolish.
And
It's
you're
basic
denying
geometry. You can't have
It's how are you going to
two
construct that
perpendiculars
basic geometry?
that aren't
Come
parallel
on,
off of
man.
the same horizontal.
So you
right.
are saying it's basic geometry. I am showing you what surveyors are taught
Just one
in advanced geometry.
one question, right? In this, whatever it is that you're dealing with, simple question: are you allowing for the fact that horizontals can be perpendicular to horizontals, and also, are you allowing geometrically for the chance of a vertical being parallel to horizontal?
No, what I'm arguing for is
No,
the
you
fact
you
that
you don't allow that.
And
You have the question.
I want to answer the question. Please let me answer the question. No, what I'm arguing for that is in universities and colleges, surveyors are taught that plumb lines are not parallel. Through surveying, we have actually measured the fact that plumb lines do not appear to be parallel. So therefore, assuming that plumb lines are parallel in your experiment is a flaw in your experiment.
So,
But the only thing is, using curved lenses, you've seen plumb lines
stop
that are parallel
Can
by
I-
using the curving, distorting lenses. So that's a little misleading.
Can I ask that question again then? Are you allowing for the fact that horizontal will be perpendicular to horizontal, and also that horizontal will be parallel to vertical?
Jesus Christ, Bev. You still on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd just be this round and round and round in circles.
Yeah. Are we going to get an answer from any of you?
Yeah.
There was the way around the world.
Horizontal.
Yeah.
It's at places like
What's that, Jem? Was that a yes?
that is a yes.
Have you ever been diagnosed with a learning difficulty?
Is that yes, Jem?
I'm asking. Look, answer my question. Have you ever been diagnosed with a learning difficulty?
No.
You see, they're obfuscators. This is why I just state the truth and just run over them, because they'll just obfuscate the issue to death. Just state the truth and move on.
Shut up, Lemon. I've got a follow-up question. So
You guys are so dishonest.
So do you think? How dare you say that? When we're sat in here with a man
I said it, and I took pictures. Do you have a problem, Jack?
Who for months has been pretending that he doesn't know what level means. I mean, it's ridiculous. But
I've been telling you that level is
my follow-up
horizontal,
question
Jem.
is: do you think that your behaviour, that this behaviour of asking this same question over and over and over again,
nobody
but just
answered it.
maybe, but slightly changing the way the question is framed, but essentially asking the same question. Do you think that's a normal behaviour
There's
for an
loads
adult?
of people in here. I'm not so sure whether you hate.
Are we starting on the conversation of normal behaviour?
Yeah.
Coming
Yeah.
from Jim.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
normal to argue
That's
with somebody who
comical.
denies.
We can talk about
interesting
behaviour
conversation.
afterwards, but at the moment, my question's about this
I don't think
specific
it's any of
piece
your
of behaviour.
business whether anybody has a learning difficulty or not.
Okay, right.
What is it? Trying to help him learn
Deal
his
with you.
ability. Why waste our time?
So, Bev, answer my question. Do you think this is a normal adult conversation to ask the same question over and over again in slightly different ways?
Well, when it doesn't get answered, yeah, you have to keep asking it in different ways because nobody
Really?
ever answers you.
So that's the. So you're just gonna. Well, I mean, people have answered you, and they always answer you the same way.
What?
I mean, they
Go
have
on,
their.
then.
They have
Can
their
I ask it
specific-
again then?
They have their specific way of doing it.
Can I ask you again then, or will
well-
you ignore it again?
Well, again, then, if you're at that particular moment, if you're being asked whether asking the same question over and over again should be considered normal behaviour, if your response to that is to say, "Can I ask the question again?" would that be considered normal behaviour?
Did you hear the bit? Will you answer?
It sounds like.
Will you
some
answer
sort of-
it
sounds
if I
like
ask it
obsessive.
again? Should I
sounds
ask it
like-
again, Jem? Would you
sounds
answer
like
it?
It sounds like obsessive behaviour to me. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah, you seem very evasive.
Well, I'm not. I'm
very-
trying to make a point.
very
You're evading
sim-
my point.
very
You
simple
haven't
geometrical
responded to-
question. You should have been
haven't
able to
responded
answer it.
My point in
It's
any
like,
way, apart from to
like
say, answer
fifth
the
grade.
question. Can I answer the question again?
Yeah,
What's
it's-
your
he's
answer to the
running
question?
scared. Yeah.
My
It's
point is,
it's a
asking the same
difficult
question.
question. I understand.
My
Jem.
point
Why don't
is,
you answer the question,
you're
Jem?
just playing games, and I feel the need to keep pointing that out.
Jim, can I ask you?
You
got
won't
muted.
answer
I
the
got
question.
muted after 2 sentences.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
because
nice.
all you wanted to do was stop the question being
No,
asked.
I
and
wanted to ask
white
you
knight
the
for
same
Bev,
thing.
so that he can continue to play his silly game that you've signed up to as well, and
Because
not
you're playing a
and
silly
not
game,
respond,
sitting here
and not
telling-
respond,
asking
and not
people whether they
respond.
have learning difficulties.
Well, he's a man who
It's
asked the same question.
unbelievable. You're
Emma,
supposed to be a grown-up, Jem.
Emma,
What's
he
wrong
asked
with
the
you?
same question over and over and over and over again, many probably
Okay.
hundreds of times now. Now, if at the end of that,
It is weird. It is weird.
he hasn't got any understanding, I think it's fair to say to start looking for the reason that he has got no
In
understanding.
your opinion,
from-
he has
from-
no understanding,
well,
Jem. A lot of
he
people might
hasn't.
say you don't have
He's
an
literally
understanding
just
of
told
life
us that
in
he's
general,
never
but
the question's
it's
never
fine.
even
We
been
can all
answered.
sit here and make shit
Emma,
up about other
Emma,
people.
he has just told us that the question has never been answered. So clearly he doesn't have any understanding of any of the answers that he's been given. He thinks they weren't even given to him, or that they didn't answer his question in some way.
I don't know why
So-
you're getting so het up about this, Jem.
Well, because I don't like liars. I don't like dishonest
Who's
liars.
lying
like
to you?
Bevish,
Have you
you
been
are
listening?
as well. You're signed up. You're
Why
part
are
of
we,
it.
why are we lying?
Because
tell
this is a
me-
silly
give me
game.
an example of a lie.
Because this is a silly game designed to frustrate conversations. It has absolutely nothing to do with finding
flat earth
truth.
debate and more.
With finding out what reality is
Jem's
about,
opinion. Okay.
and that's why it's a lie.
Guys, could you just let people talk? Let's not do it all at once.
Well, what they're
Nice-
doing is
nice
part of the
moderation.
game. They do it all the
that
time.
Veitch's Veitch's?
These little
Yeah.
asides constantly when everyone speaks, all the
Well,
time.
Jim,
Little
it's
giggle,
embarrassing.
little what? Little feigned incredulity all the time. It's a game.
Well, Jim, he's implying that you guys have an absurd proposition that basically 45 degrees away, around the ball, anywhere 90 degrees away, around the ball, level becomes, vertical, and horizontal becomes, vertical, and vertical becomes horizontal.
Nobody
it's
said that.
think about it like that.
Which
That's
is
basically what's
ridiculous.
implicit in your globe presumption, and so that's a fair, premise.
To
that he's
add to that,
making.
Lemon, to add to that, horizontals intersect with horizontals, and plums intersect with plums.
Wouldn't that be
It's
true?
ridiculous.
That has been stated, so that much is correct.
Which is ridiculous.
Hold on, wouldn't that be true
No,
if
it's
the
not
model
ridiculous.
was right?
Of course it is.
If model
Of course it
was
would be.
right, yes.
So that's not so ridiculous.
You don't even know how to do that.
That,
Sure you do.
there's an assertion that this is a ball. We take measurements on it, and we see that it is a ball. What is wrong with that? The measurements confirm.
They say we.
How do you measure curve?
Well, we can deal with the plumb lines. What's wrong with using the plumb lines?
You need to have a baseline that's unchanging, but if you have a plumb line that's changing constantly, you don't have a baseline even for measurement. What is this
It's
plumb
all
line
about the
curve?
base.
Baseline is down.
Actually,
Center
it's about
verge.
the
Whoever makes
comparison.
that plumb line straight down.
It's about the comparison because obviously, if you've
How
got
do
a
you guys
flat
measure
Earth,
flatness? That's a good
Yeah.
question. Do you even know?
What?
use a
If you
plumb line.
have a standard, a
No,
straight standard.
You would
arrogant-
measure a curve, wouldn't
How do you
you?
create a straight
You'd
standard?
measure a deviation from the straight,
the
wouldn't you?
plumb.
And that's
No,
what we
that's
do.
not right.
Isn't that what surveyors do? Measure a deviation.
You hang a plumb,
From the
establish
straight
plumb,
line.
and then establish horizontal perpendicular to that.
And how does that get you a surface plate, which is what you use in metrology for a surface?
I don't know. You tell me.
Okay. You don't know, because you're wrong. You have to use a Whitworth method.
Who's that WS?
Was that the same guy that
No,
made
that
rough?
might be Cosmo or Jeff or
He
someone.
made a lot of stuff. He was really famous, but he spurred the
the
Industrial
inventor-
Revolution.
Could be all of
Is
those
everybody
people.
Jeff to you?
Guys,
sound the
guys,
same.
one time.
That's all we've got to
Yeah.
go from. The voices.
Yeah, how do
You
you
all
ever
sound the
establish
same.
something as flat? Your table, how do you know it's perfectly flat?
Plumb,
No.
horizontal to that, perpendicular to that.
It doesn't give you a surface. It gives you two lines.
Use
You
water
use a-
level.
Use a straight edge.
How do you know water is perfectly flat?
You could use water level.
It's just axiomatically assumed based off of its flow.
Axiomatically assumed, therefore, there's absolutely nothing that could ever.
Well,
do
let's-
you understand
let's-
limits?
let's-
An
let's get a
axiom is
test.
something that is assumed to be true.
Let's
so if you
get the
assume it to
test
be
and
true,
use,
there's no amount of
Euclidean-
evidence that could ever.
But
Well,
tautology.
then you build based off of the water level and see how level the structure is that you build based off of that level. Otherwise, how would you determine that water is level?
The Earth is axiomatically. I have an axiom that the Earth is curved. Do you understand how stupid you sound?
Who said
That
that?
axiom, least amount of assumption, is flat. Curved has a bit more of an assumption because you need to have another axiom, flatness, to base the curve off of. So it's an inferior axiom, even if you were going to assume axiomatic
Word
curve.
salad bullshit. You know that's
That the
ridiculous.
Earth, that the water is level, sir. Go. How do you prove that the water is flat and level?
This
With
idiot just
emojis.
said that the curve is axiomatic. Do you know what an axiom is?
Oh.
An
That's what I'm
axiom
saying.
is
I'm
something.
telling him how stupid
Are we
his argument
are we
is.
done here now? Because
You could say,
we'll
well,
get off
I
if
have
you're
an
going on to
axiom
this
that,
sort of stuff.
God is real. So
We,
no matter what you say,
We're delving into
I'll follow your
stupidity.
axiom and say God's real.
We're delving into stupidity that implies the end of an answer. So can we just move on?
It doesn't present as flat. It doesn't present as curved. So you're being completely patently incorrect when you say that.
No, it does present as curved.
It presents a curve. It absolutely does present. Yes, really.
Only when you use the curving distorted lens. Without the curving distorted lens, it's flat to the eyes.
No,
No,
to the
you
eyes.
can look at
it's
it with
curved.
any device.
Lemon,
I've never not
rectilinear
seen
lenses
it curved.
exist.
Never, not once.
And they still show curvature.
Because
How is
there
it that all
is.
the different methods that use different, none that use optics confirm
different
the
lenses
same
that
that,
use
that the options that
same
use
result.
optics?
So all the civilizations before us that said the horizon, like that came up with the word horizon, right? And horizontal. They're all just delusional, right?
And sunset.
Mathematically defined it.
And sunrise.
They didn't have strong enough tech, man. Come on, dude. You've seen the ocean have a limit of 360, equal distance in 360.
Axiomatic.
Let's play word games again.
Obviously evident. That's
Yeah,
what
this is silly.
axiom
This
is
is
truism.
silly.
You don't
You're being
need
silly.
high tech gear. It's
What about
They
sunrise?
just
right
got
in
it
your
wrong
face,
when they thought it was
obvious.
flat. They got it wrong. Look, you can look out the
No.
ocean, and that what you see is consistent with several different choices. You can pick one at random, and you only have a certain chance to be right.
Man, you guys are just really trying to, desperately
Atmosphere.
trying to hijack the arguments, eh? The flat Earth.
I mean, I'm just telling you the truth, dude. It's simple truth. It looks exactly like it should look, given the dimensions of the planet of Earth.
And it looks flat, and it rises toward the level of the eyes. That's not commensurate with the sphere.
It doesn't.
It
No,
looks
it doesn't
really
rise,
nice.
Tyler.
It rise the level of the ice.
It rises
The
toward the
limited
level of the
horizon-
eyes. That's enough.
No,
We have not come up with the unknown radical phenomenon that would be limiting the vision limit and making it look like the hump of water. We have not come up with that replacement phenomenon yet. So they're being very generous in even allowing you to say this is 50. Like, come on, guys.
We
They're being
already
very
came up with the
generous.
phenomenon. It's the diffraction through the eyes, representing a flat plane in perspective to the eyes of the observer.
Doesn't work that way. That makes no
Yes,
sense.
it does. Diffraction, diffraction
You don't
limit,
even know what diffraction is.
Rayleigh criteria, all of that can account for what appears to be a flat plane rising toward the level of the eyes, no hump of Earth curvature.
None of that makes things
doesn't-
disappear
it doesn't
bottom up
ri-
at all.
Yes,
doesn't
it
rise
does.
the level of the eyes
If you're
either.
talking about how much of the object is distributed relative to the level of the eyes, how much of it is above the level of the eyes, and how much of it is below the level of the eyes, yes, you would have something that would set and
No.
appear to set
No, you
behind the
wouldn't.
horizon.
I'm talking about the horizon not rising to the level of eyes. Period. It does not rise.
Well,
the higher you go,
I'll
the lower
agree
the
with
horizon will
you.
be.
It doesn't rise. Levels don't rise. Whoever said that.
The horizon, yes, it does, because the horizon is caused by the actual water level. If the water level lowered, then you'd be looking down. You'd be tilting down.
The water level doesn't rise.
Because the water, you'd be
And
looking
they
into a
say we
canyon.
do.
You'd be looking into a canyon.
Stiggy, be helpful.
Yeah, you'd be looking into a canyon.
Stiggy, enough of the joke answers. Come on, dude. It's boring.
If there was no water,
Yes, we get it. We got it. We got it. If the water,
So
if
your
the water
horizon
level
changes.
rises, ha ha ha. We get it. We get it. We get
So
it. It's
your
great.
horizon
Good one.
changes.
Okay, so we
Your
can do
horizon
this
changes.
between the
Okay,
the
Your
horizontal.
horizon changes based off the water level.
Stiggy, can you hear me? We can do this between mountaintops if you want to try and eliminate your whole horizon thing, Lemon. So we can do this between mountaintops, and we can show that plumb lines aren't parallel. So what's your keep them then?
Could you measure triangles?
You're dealing with the land and refractive air layers, especially with the cold mountains. That's why you do
So
it
not
over
the first
water.
half of the eye
Help
going to
minimize the
decide- one
effects
would
of refraction as much as possible.
So one would expect that measurement to be different. Because
With
it doesn't have
refractive
the
layers,
rise
you have
compression
the mountains appearing to rise or lower over a flat plane.
But it doesn't have the compression issue with the bottom. So now we can go and look at this fairly and look at the angles reference to the horizontal between the two stations.
It still rises toward the level of the eyes, and at the horizon line at the eye level, everything converges. It's the same phenomenon.
I'm at the top of the mountain. It's not in the middle of my eye.
Who's that going to the top of a mountain doing horizontal? Who's doing that?
I don't know, but whoever it is, Lemon's gone with him.
Who's doing
Why
it?
did you go up there,
I
Lemon?
know that the main surveyor's done it from mountaintop to mountaintop. So who would do that? The main surveyor.
Who said that?
Lenses. Curving lenses. distorted
Oh my God!
So is he measuring angles and triangles? Up
He's
there.
measuring the zenith angle and comparing that to another zenith angle.
Okay. All right. So Jem might want to come back in with the triangles. If you cited triangles
my
on the
God.
top of these mountains.
Look, even in the textbook, they're talking about different elevations between observation points. Oh no!
Textbook. Yeah. Lovely. Textbook
Foolish, you sound
reply.
like you're going to cry.
No, I'm actually almost trying to stop myself laughing.
Foolish, right? Foolish. I'm going to go. I've got to go, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna
I've
have
got
to
one
go as well.
question for you, Foolish. Right? Can you just answer it for me? Right?
What's the trouble?
Oh, somebody muted him. Why do you do
Hello?
that?
Where's he gone?
He just muted
Not
you
me.
then, DP.
Who's muted me?
You're back now.
No one. You're there.
Oh, yeah. Well done.
But
whoever
how
that
is
was.
it possible if I'm looking at a boat and I'm
Hang on. I've got a
Okay,
question
go ahead,
for
sorry.
Foolish. Right? I've got a horizontal plane. It's a mile long, Foolish. I've got perpendicular at each end of this horizontal plane. Are those perpendiculars going to be parallel?
Well, in your imagined plane, yes, because you're talking about the surface, aren't you?
Yep. We all would agree.
Yeah.
We all would agree.
Horizontal,
Let's move on.
happy with
So
that.
those plums,
The
those
problem
plums
is-
are going to be parallel.
The problem is if you're taking a plumb line and you're making the
they're plums.
assumption. Wait one
They are
second.
plums. They're
Let
perpendicular
me make
to the
my
horizontal.
point.
Let him
me
respond.
make my point. So the trouble I've got with that is, yes, I agree with you. That is correct. But if you make the assumption that your plumb lines are parallel, then that is a problem, because if they're not parallel, then you're not having one horizontal, you're having two horizontals, which will cross each other because they're going off at different angles.
It's an
Yeah,
established
you can't
horizontal.
assume that would be affirming the consequence, guys, if you did
It's
that instead
it's
of
an
it's not a
established
ball.
horizontal with plums perpendicular to it at each end.
Yeah, but
Okay,
you're-
so if
Build
Yeah,
it,
you're-
fine,
you're-
build it,
you're-
go.
You're equivocating. Let me respond to this. You're equivocating between something that you're really
I'm
saying
not
is an
equivocating.
Wait 1 second. You're
Let
saying
him respond, dude.
You're saying that
Horizontal.
these
You
lines
didn't know it.
Well,
Ah,
I'll
they've
tell
just
you what,
muted
don't ask
him.
an answer.
Just
Go on,
muted
go on,
him.
go on, go on.
I
You just fucking answer.
Guys, everybody let Druss respond to the fucking question. It's not that hard. Druss, please.
You're trying to say that these lines going down from your horizontal are at 90 degrees, then I can't agree with you because we're talking about plumb. So you're making the assumption that you've got a flat plane you're working with and that plumb lines are horizontal. If plumb lines are to the
Parallel.
centre of mass, they will not be parallel. Thank you. Sorry.
So you're saying that a perpendicular to a horizontal is not plumb?
No,
No,
I'm
that's
not
not
saying
what he's
that.
fucking saying.
Did you say build it?
I'm saying that if you're
That's what
judging,
you've just said.
if the way you're defining your perpendicular is by plumb, then I cannot agree with you because if the Earth is a globe and the plumbs are drawn to the centre of mass, they will not be parallel, so you will not have a perpendicular from your
It's
horizontal
one
plane.
horizontal plane.
Did you say
Druss.
build it? Did you say build it?
Wait,
It's
it's
one horizontal
Hold on, I just
plane.
asked you a question. I need to jump in. Peaches, did you say build it?
I said it, Zanuck.
Do we already built it? We already have built it.
Exactly.
I believe
and
that's a
I'm
false
challenging that
assumption.
exactly. I hope you don't think that I'm not
I
challenging
know. I
them.
thought Magnetar said that.
That's me, buddy.
All right, I don't know who's been.
Magnetar's gone.
You
Magnetar's gone.
changed your name so often. Oh, that was you. Okay. Whoever said, yeah. So Don said build it. I
Zanuck,
said we've
Zanuck,
already built it. We
Zanuck.
measure a flat horizontal surface which has not.
Oh,
parallel
don't let
plumb lines.
Zanuck start,
What-
please.
He's got you, Bev. Listen to him. He's got your shit right there.
We've already built a structure that is perfectly flat and horizontal, and the plumb lines are measurably not parallel. What was more to talk about?
Where's this?
Again, people have to talk over it before I can finish.
Doing LIGO, isn't he?
How'd you
Gonna
make
go
sure it's
LIGO.
straight?
Yeah.
It's
Well
instrumental.
done. Well done, Zanuck. Well done, Zanuck.
The assumption that the Earth is
Go on,
parallel
Zanuck, how'd you
plane.
measure it to be perfectly straight?
You guys gotta stop talking over each other. It's hard to listen to.
The assumption that this is a plane and would have the same plumbs in different locations seems to be defied by the fact that when we measure it, it's not. So what is your answer to the fact that it's not?
Equipment
plumb lines are
error.
not parallel.
Equipment error, namely the curving lenses.
The curving lens. You're saying it's a great.
Who's measured plumb lines not being
Are you
parallel?
fucking? Okay, who did I say measured it earlier?
The hay surveyor.
Right, again, yeah, one guy. Wow. Have you seen what he's done just recently? He's just showed you that he can't
You are being
level
so
his
dishonest.
equipment.
I cannot let this lie. I mentioned the main surveyor, the Royal Society, the geological surveys in America, the geological surveys done in India, all recorded with massive amounts of data and evidence. Do not say it was just one guy.
What you're saying there is, you're saying over there. Did he bang the table then as well, Josh?
Listen, you guys getting naughty. Look at you guys. You're getting really tough, aren't you guys?
By the way, triangles. It's all of them other ones are triangles with more than 180 degrees, right? So you've got Jeff, who's done supposedly the parallels, the plumb lines not being parallel. Sorry, and triangles with more than 180 degrees. Yeah.
What's the sine of 90 degrees?
Sorry.
The sine of 90 degrees.
Why would I need to know that? It's trigonometry, dude.
Because it shows your.
Put it into your calculator. Work it out.
Okay, let's ask it in another way, Bev. What is the sine of 90 degrees, and or what is the ratio of the side opposite the 90-degree angle over the
what are you
length of the
talking about, Lemon?
hypotenuse of that triangle?
Listen.
What is the ratio of the length of the side across from the 90 degree
Nice try.
angle,
Lemon, that's
aka
all
the
correct.
hypotenuse? Over the hypotenuse of the triangle,
you're
and
a joke.
or in another way,
You're
what
a
is
joke.
the ratio of the hypotenuse divided by the hypotenuse, Bev? Go.
You're a joke.
It's not the angle opposite.
The hypotenuse divided by the hypotenuse is what, Bev? The same thing divided by the same thing is what, Bev? What is it?
Guys.
What do you get when you divide the same thing by itself, Bev?
Why are you so triggered, Lemon? What's up?
Lemon, settle down. You know what sine is.
Wow, your mic's going in
Answer
everything.
the question. What is the same thing divided by the same thing? What is it, Bev?
Wow.
Lemon, you basically
Lemon's just trying
described
to
sine
highlight the
incorrectly. It's
stupidity
not the
of
90 degree angle opposite side.
Can anybody else answer what the same thing divided by the same thing is? It should be 1. So the sine of 90 degrees is 1, Bev. I was trying to help.
Quiet.
Yeah, you're yelling a lot. Let me just tone it down just a hair. Sure.
Yeah,
Just a hair.
Was that a tricky
So he
question
doesn't
that I
know-
asked or something?
Look, this is a basic. Hey, limit or not limit. Bev, what's the cosine of 0
Listen,
degrees?
what are we doing? Trigonometry
You're on your own,
for?
Bev. I tried to help and you didn't take my help, so you're on your own with that one.
Wait,
What's the cosine of 0 degrees?
0 degrees, it's cosine sine for the XY coordinate, so it would be
fantastic.
over 1 0. So the cosine
Yeah, I
would
know.
be 1.
The muted
The
DP
cosine
again.
would be 1.
We're all getting triggered.
Yeah.
Very good, Lemon.
You're talking
Very
about the
good, Lemon.
cosine of 0 degrees? That's 1.
Yeah, you're
Because the
very good,
coordinates
very
on
good.
the unit
That's a-
circle is 1 0, which would be cosine sine.
Yeah, it's brilliant, Lemon. Yeah. You've saved
you
him.
nailed that, Lemon. That's very good.
Saved him. Yeah, nice.
So, but he doesn't know basic geometry, and he's trying to say that
That's
we are so
trigonometry.
stupid. Excuse me. Let me, Bev, please let me finish. He's trying to say that we're so stupid. We, in order to only not even agree with the globe argument, but just to understand it, we have to misunderstand the most elementary of geometry.
He can still bring up good points without knowing every in and out of
It's not
trigonometry.
every in and out. It's basic elementary geometry.
That's trigonometry you're
What he's
talking about, you
talking about
dickhead.
something else. He can still make decent points without knowing everything about every math trigonometry thing.
Yeah, you don't have to crunch the numbers to realize, instantly, that you can't have straight lines. You can't measure straight lines on a globe.
How
Oh
is
my
it-
God,
how is
listen-
it
oh
too
my
much
God.
to ask? How is it too much to ask to
Yeah.
know the ratio
Right,
between
yeah.
sides of right
you can know that,
triangles?
but it's
You
not-
measure
it's not
straight
relevant.
lines. You can't even have straight
We
lines.
need to make Bev
No,
draw
if you-
out
if you
his
assert that
shit
you have
on the
straight lines,
globe
then you're not a
model. It's
glober.
like Bev, you're not wanting to accept agreements on what the globe model
I
is.
just
That's
I just
very
live in reality. I'll say it again. Just live in reality. That's all I deal with.
No. What I'm saying is even just to understand the argument that the
Do you
globe
do
earthers
you
are making.
do you yeah
he's
do you
saying
think
that
I don't
can't
understand
even
it?
do that much.
Do you think I don't understand it?
You
But I have many proofs.
Basic trigonometry.
I have.
You don't even. Know
I have
basic
proofs.
Elementary geometry.
Bev, if you know it so much, Bev, if you know
Wow,
it so
you're
much,
getting
model your shit out on
I've
the
done
globe.
a proof. Have you
since
seen
know
it?
so much.
I've done a proof. Have you seen it?
Model your shit on the globe on the
Have you-
whiteboard.
have
I've
you
never
seen
seen
it?
you
On
do
the globe. They want you to do it on a board.
Oh, which model?
How pathetic.
Which model, guys?
There's only one.
What the? No, there
I had
isn't.
no
There's the
question,
Kozlowski nutsack drop, and there's the Kozlowski Bislin hump. Two different models. One drops, the other one
Those are
raises.
two formulas from the same model. Don't be silly.
No. If you mix them with reality, with a horizontal, you get struggles, don't you?
They're two different formulas on the same model.
It's not a formula, is it?
Yeah.
It's a water level, a tool that establishes a horizontal plane of reference. Now, does that water level drop 8 inches over a mile, or is there a hump of 2 inches in the middle?
Don't be silly.
No, that's actually kind of silly. Like it does
Yep.
kind of like
It's a gradual hump, right?
depends on your perspective. how you
No,
look
no,
at it.
it's
Like,
like you
like
know,
you can
it's
rotate
a-
them
it's a
on
water
and
level.
you
For the
see-
same model.
Level shit, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, Tokyo seems different from this perspective, therefore fake.
Nah. That's a pretty bad
It's not a
example.
perspective. You got to ask yourself: is it the hump relative to what?
To
There
the
is no hump
horizontal.
relative to.
Yeah, to the horizontal that's
Which
set
one?
by the
Which one is it?
water level.
No, that would
There's
be
many
that would be a
horizontals.
straight line to between
Okay,
each point.
brilliant. That's straight line.
No,
then.
he's
a level,
right. There'd be a hump.
a level
There'd be a
straight
hump from A
line.
to C.
A chord, if you will.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you
a
do
chord.
there's a hump
So you
compared
go
to
in the
chord,
hump.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Yeah. So there's no
If
no drop.
compared to the chord.
So there's no drop
No,
from the
it's not.
horizontal. Is
It's
there
a
not?
drop. It's a drop from the perspective of the person. So the drop from one side, there's a hump if you look at it compared to the chord, but it's a drop from from point A on it. You know,
You
from a
can't
person
have
standing
both.
point A.
You can't have a hump and a
Yes,
drop
we
at the
can
same
have
time.
both. Oh my
What do you mean
God.
you can?
It's two different perspectives.
man.
So,
Come on, man. You
yeah, it's pretty simple.
man.
You're assuming the chord is parallel with your level reference at your starting point, which it is not.
You've just set the chord
Well,
over the
chord-
two ends of your levels. That's what you did.
The chord would be parallel with the surface of the Earth at the midpoint of the chord. So if you take the chord, find the
What?
midpoint,
The
get
chord would be
perpendicular,
parallel
intersect
at the
with Earth.
midpoint.
That
Do you need
horizontal
another
line there would be
picture?
parallel with the chord.
Yeah, go on. Give
And
us
so
that.
if you look at it from the if you look at it from the chord's perspective, it's kind of like there's a hump over
Look
the
at
chord.
perspective
If you
of
look at
the
it from
chord. What
from
are you
the
talking
point-
about, Jem?
If you look at it from the perspective of the chord, there's
Are we,
kind of like a
are we
hump
doing
in the
geometry?
middle.
We can't
But if you
look at it from
the
the perspective of a
But
chord.
if you look at, hey Bev, just wait till I'm done. And if you look at it from point A on the chord, like where somebody might be standing on the surface of the Earth, then the Earth will just fall away from them as it moves away from them. It'll sort of it'll bend down.
Okay, so it
And
does.
that's
It
the
drops
same-
away then,
same-
right?
Same phenomenon, and depending on where you're looking at it from, you're going to see different. You know, it's
Drop-
going to look like it.
It drops away though. You going with the Kozlowski nutsack drop?
They're the same model, really. I mean, they're not really
They're
different. It's
not,
just a
because
matter
one of them it's
one
level
is
all the way
intersected
across,
one of them is
and there's a
level.
hump in the middle.
I don't think that's true.
No,
Well,
no,
one
yeah,
of
I
them
say
you
they.
have the,
Other
the
people
viewpoints
think
of
that
the
that one's true.
people
That's the problem.
looking in
That's
different
why.
direction than the
That's
other
why
one.
we call it the
It's all about
Kozlowski
where they're
nutsack, Kozlowski curvature conundrum.
Sounds like a great name.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all a matter of perspective, though, and where they're looking. Of course he does. Of course he does.
Water levels don't adjust by your perspective from where you're looking. The water level stays the same.
Yeah, but our
no matter what.
Our sense of what they're doing does.
No,
adjust,
not a
though. Our
sense.
of whether they're,
Senses
like,
don't
are-
affect water
Sure.
levels either.
Yeah, but
They're
our sense of
unaffected
what
by
they're doing is
senses,
affected.
unaffected by sight.
Our sense, though, is affected. Our sense is affected. Right?
Water
Our
levels
sense of
don't
what we're
affect your
doing, whether we call
senses.
it dropping away, or call it moving up, or calling it disappear. What we see it as is affected by where we're standing.
Well, you could see. It depends where you're standing, whether you can see the end of the water level.
Indeed.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally
But
agree.
that's it.
How do you still want to be the leader when you get so much resistance? Like seriously.
Sorry?
That's-
I had to look behind me then. You're
want
talking
to take
to me.
the lead on something, and every single person is telling you you need help with this or you should look at this, and you still want to be the leader.
I am just,
Like, you
dude.
don't
I'm,
want to learn anything.
I'm just
You're
saying
not
level
teaching anything.
is horizontal. That's all I'm saying.
You're doing more than saying it.
Pardon?
Define horizontal. This is what I'm talking about.
It's
You
perpendicular
do
to
not understand
vertical.
Basic geometrical
At
definition. You
90
just say
degrees to
horizontal, you just
vertical?
say horizontal, and
Or
it's
the
a-
plumb
it's
line?
somehow a mathematically
vertical, then.
precise defined term.
Plumb
not,
bob.
okay?
90 degrees to
Say
vertical,
It would be the line made by a plumb bob, because it's a real life tool.
plumb
Vertical
bob
is a
is
real life
perpendicular
thing.
to the
Horizontal.
it's directly straight down to the center of mass. So what do you mean?
What? No.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, go on.
Whatever. Go on. What are you saying? Go on. Maybe I misunderstood you. Go on.
Vertical is established by a plumb bob, which is a tool that we all use in reality, right?
Okay,
That
okay.
line is called a vertical. Now, perpendicular to that is another straight line at 90 degrees to it. We call that horizontal or level.
So which one
Okay,
of those two is
now-
derived?
Sorry?
The problem.
Which one of those two is derived?
They're the same, aren't they? They're perpendicular. So
Which of those two did you derive?
one of them is called a level, and the tool that called a level establishes the level, and the tool that you call a plumb bob establishes the vertical. They're both independent tools, completely
How does the
independent
level determine what is
of
level?
each other.
How does the level determine what is level?
I would say a water level uses the hydrostatics in order to equalize.
Okay, and you think this is a mathematical proof of your argument?
Geometrical. Yeah. Completely
Okay, you understand
Euclidean.
that the properties of you understand that
And the hydrostatic
you
stuff.
do not. Excuse me. Can I talk? Can you understand that a mathematical proof is not dependent on anything out in the world? Okay, you can sit in your armchair and write down whatever you want, and if it's a mathematical proof, then it is what it is. Okay, you're talking about something related to physics, and you're saying that it's just you're so like confused. It's hard to even pinpoint.
He's making the assumption. He's making the assumption that all of his plums will be parallel.
No, listen. I will tell you exactly.
They'll be at angles to each other.
I'll tell you exactly how I will do it. Right? We establish Euclidean principles. Right? That a straight line can be drawn between 2 points. Yeah, you give us that. What we do is we have a water.
And how do you build it?
We have a water. Listen, we have a water level that has.
You're not going to
2
build
points.
it in reference to anything. You need to build it rigid. All right.
Hold on.
Right, so the water level has 2 points at each end. Then you can, using Euclidean geometrical principles, you can draw a straight line between those 2 points.
Why are you assuming that it's possible to connect an absolutely perfectly straight line from one of the things to the other?
Baked beans.
Right. If it's a globe,
just listen.
We're going to build the curved horizontal line and then pretend it wasn't curved. I get it.
Guys, why are you guys acting like them? Come on, just take a breath. Let him finish
what
what he's
you
saying, and
always
then you
like,
guys can
Scott.
dismantle it. You can dismantle it when he's done explaining. But I think maybe you don't fully understand what he's going to say, even though you are right that he's wrong. But let's just hear exactly what he's saying. Then you'll be precise.
Okay.
Well, horizontal is determined not just
Come on, let Bev finish. We just went through all that work to get the room for him to speak, and now you went and interrupted. Go ahead, Bev, please finish.
So Euclidean principles, using the definitions of a straight line, which is a little bit weird that you have to explain that, and a water level, and using the geometry of the points of the water level in reality, we can use a geometrical principles to draw straight lines together. Now, within Euclid and the elements, their proofs are within it. There is a passage, or a proposition, number 11, that states that two straight lines cannot share a common segment. It's in my proof. It's part of my proof, right?
Okay, Bev.
Yeah.
So, Bev, what happens when you find the hump in the middle? When you shoot from A to C and you have a hump in the middle, then doesn't that mean it's a globe?
That would mean we've found curvature. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is horizontal.
Just build your little what you think
The hump.
horizontal plane.
That's pretty
shoot
bad.
Shoot A to C, and all points in between A to C need to be right in line with that. That's all you need. What are you fucking around with water for?
Yeah, no
But the
rise,
problem
right?
is-
No, it won't
Horizontal-
rise and it won't drop. It will stay level,
The problem
horizontal.
is
You
the
need to
problem
measure
is
above
horizontal is also
sea level. You
determined.
don't need water.
Horizontal is also determined based off of activity. Stuff that is on a horizontal tends to be stable and not fall off and not be like water, which tends to seek another level. And so horizontal is also based off of activity, and the shape that tends to give that stability tends to be flat and level at 90 degrees relative to up and down with a plumb. So it's also determined based off of activity as well. If stuff is sliding off, it's probably not level at the very least.
Perpendicular is
It's absolutely honestly just ridiculous. It's honestly, to even answer these questions, they're so stupid that it's hard to even understand where you guys are going wrong. I mean, honestly,
we don't have curved levels. We have horizontal ones.
Yeah.
So philosophically, it's hard to.
Lemon, do you understand? I just asked the other fucking guy what he thought about this. If an ant is on a fucking basketball, what is his eye level as he moves around the basketball? Is it the same line?
The eye level would be basically tangent to a curve if he's looking out over the ball.
Of course.
Why would it be
But
a
if you're talking
tangent?
about eye level, the level of the eyes, it would tend to go off into space. Unless you'd have to define it either as tangent to the ball, touching the ball, or just going off straight into space.
That's what we see. We see
Wait a
these.
minute, I don't know what you're talking. You bring up space and all this shit. I'm talking about just an ant. You already agreed that the ant's eye level, as he moves around it, is going to be
Go
a
back
tangent
onto
line to the
ant on a
sphere.
ball.
That is the entire argument. You can't just be like, well, I have a vertical line here because I'm looking at it, and it's a plumb line, and it looks flat to the ground, so that's 90 degrees.
But you
So
have
then I
two
walk
lines.
20 miles. I mean, you understand how ridiculous that is.
But you have two lines that are available even off of the ant. You have the tangent at the ant's feet, but at the level of the eyes, parallel to that tangent, it would go off into space. So even this is a little problematic. You'd have to define it as the ant looking down at an angle to get a tangent on the ball relative to the level of the eyes of the
Lyndon,
ant.
you understand at least the argument about why the level would just be the tangent line to the surface of a sphere. You at least understand that. Okay, so that now we're getting somewhere. So,
But it would be that tangent at the feet, not the level of the eyes.
Right,
so we have a bit of ambiguity
I'm
here
going to get
because
going, guys.
The level
I
of
don't
the
think I'll be
eyes
coming
and
back.
the tangent of
See you
the
later.
object that is intersecting the ball at the feet
just